The grandfather paradox is a fascinating and thought-provoking concept that challenges our understanding of time, existence, and causality. Imagine a scenario where time travel is possible and you decide to journey back in time to a period before your grandparents ever met. The goal is straightforward: prevent their meeting to see what would happen. However, this leads to a paradox that is both mind-bending and full of implications. Let's visualize the scene. You find yourself transported to a time long before your birth, maybe decades before your parents were even conceived. You arrive in a quaint little town where your grandmother is a bright young woman enjoying life, and your grandfather is a charming gentleman forging his own path. You intervene in the timeline, perhaps by accidentally causing them to miss their first meeting by spilling coffee on your grandfather as he walks into the cafe where they were supposed to meet. Now, because of your actions, they never meet, or maybe they meet but are too discouraged to pursue a relationship. Either way, the result is the same. Your parents are never born, which means you will never exist either. This brings us to the heart of the grandfather paradox. If you had never existed, then who was it that traveled back in time to stop your grandparents from meeting? This creates a logical loop that seems impossible to resolve. One way to think about this paradox is through the lens of causality. Causality is the relationship between causes and effects. Simply put, for every cause, there is an effect that follows it. In the grandfather paradox, the cause of your grandparents not meeting leads directly to the effect of your non-existence. However, if you never existed, how could you have caused such an event? The implications of this situation can be as confusing as they are intriguing. Some theories in physics attempt to address this paradox. For instance, there's the idea of parallel universes. According to this view, if you traveled back in time and altered the past, you'd create a new timeline or universe where the changes take effect. In this alternate reality, your grandparents may never have met, leading to a different outcome than the one you originally experienced. Meanwhile, your existence in your original timeline remains unaffected, as you never altered the course of your own past. This concept of branching realities opens up exciting possibilities, suggesting that time travel could create endless versions of history based on different decisions. Another approach is the idea of self-consistency, which posits that what happens in time travel must always be consistent with the timeline's existing reality. Using this logic, any attempt to change the past would ultimately fail. For example, instead of succeeding in preventing your grandparents from meeting, something might go wrong in your plan, ensuring that the original timeline remains intact. Maybe your grandfather ends up meeting your grandmother even after your intervention, or perhaps external circumstances conspire to keep their fateful encounter on track. In this sense, the universe has a way of maintaining balance and coherence. The grandfather paradox raises questions not just about time travel, but also about the nature of reality itself. It encourages us to think deeply about free will and determinism. If an event is predetermined, then can we say that we have true agency over our actions? If every time we try to alter the past, we are thwarted by some universal force, what does that entail for our understanding of choice and consequence? Moreover, the paradox is often used to explore themes in science fiction. Many books, movies, and shows delve into time travel stories that either embrace or cleverly sidestep the grandfather paradox. For instance, films like Back to the Future illustrate how characters deal with the difficulties of navigating the past without disrupting their own existence. They create entertaining narratives that play on the complexities of cause and effect, while also provoking thought about the implications of our actions. In essence, the grandfather paradox serves as a reminder of the limits of our understanding of time and existence. It encourages an exploration of philosophical and scientific ideas that continue to intrigue and puzzle thinkers and creatives alike. This paradox invites us to consider the all-encompassing tapestry of cause and effect, and how tightly woven our lives are with the choices that are made, not just by us, but by those who came before us. In conclusion, the grandfather paradox encapsulates the complexities of time travel and the implications of altering the past. It compels us to reflect on the intricate web of causality that governs our realities and stirs our imagination about the possibilities of alternative timelines and universes. While our understanding of time travel remains theoretical, the discussions sparked by this paradox allow us to explore deeper existential questions about our existence and our connections to the past, present, and future. So, the next time you ponder time travel, remember the delicate balance of events that shape your life and the lives of those who helped create it. Imagine a scenario in which a time traveler decides to embark on an exciting journey to the past. Let's say this traveler finds a book filled with incredible stories and groundbreaking ideas. This book was written by an accomplished author in the future, and the time traveler is deeply inspired by its contents. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. The traveler decides to take this very book back in time, perhaps to share its wisdom, or maybe just to see how it influences events. Upon arriving in the past, the time traveler introduces the book to a young aspiring writer. The writer, captivated by its innovative ideas and rich storytelling, becomes motivated to write their own version of a similar book. This book, filled with original thoughts, ideas, and stories, eventually becomes the book the traveler had found in the future. An entire cycle of creation has formed, yet the original source of this knowledge becomes a mystery. You might wonder, who actually authored the book? It appears that the time traveler created the book through their interaction with the writer, but no one ever wrote it in the usual sense. The book didn't come from an observable origin. Instead, it simply exists as a result of the time traveler's actions. This curious loop is known as the Bootstrap Paradox. This paradox poses fascinating questions about the nature of information and creativity. If the time traveler had never traveled back in time, would that book even exist at all? It becomes a puzzle about cause and effect, where the traditional linear understanding of time is thrown into disarray. The time traveler becomes both a catalyst and a product of the very book they brought back. Consider this. The concept of a bootstrap paradox can be applied to various narratives in literature and film. For instance, in certain sci-fi movies, characters use technology or knowledge from the future to advance their own time. But when they alter the past, it leads to a series of events that creates that same technology or knowledge in the first place. It's a dizzying concept that combines creativity, inspiration, and even destiny all in one. Another example is the tale of an artist who learns a technique by reportedly studying the works of a great master from history. Fascinated by the master's style, the artist starts to experiment, eventually creating numerous pieces that echo the master's influence. However, through an unexpected twist, the artist finds out that the great master had once been inspired by the very works created by the artist in a different timeline. In this twist of fate, the chain of inspiration is looped infinitely, questioning the originality of artistic expression itself. This paradox also opens a window to philosophical discussions about authorship. If the information's origin is obscured, and it appears to be self-generated, can we truly attribute credit where it's due? It challenges the very essence of creation, suggesting that much of what we consider original might actually stem from a chain of events that is less straightforward than it seems. Allow yourself to ponder how this conspiracy of time travel could affect humanity's understanding of history. What if every significant invention or piece of literature stemmed from a similar loop? The wheel, the telephone, or even the discovery of electricity could potentially have undisclosed predecessors rooted in the future. In this way, each piece of knowledge may be intertwined with the past, present, and future, an intricate tapestry of existence influenced by time travel. The Bootstrap Paradox is a thrilling concept, isn't it? As it challenges the fabric of time and the nature of creation, it pushes both scientists and philosophers alike to rethink our conventional approach to history and inspiration. It reveals that knowledge may not have a clear origin but might instead be part of an endless loop of influence, where everyone is a participant in a grand, circular dance of creativity. So the next time you think about the stories, inventions, or ideas that shape our world, think of them as threads in a vast tapestry, where time is a non-linear journey. Each thought you encounter or create might echo through time in ways you cannot yet comprehend, forming connections to futures and pasts that break the boundaries of our understanding. As you continue to explore the intriguing complexities of time and creativity, remember that every thought and inspiration could be part of this magnificent cycle. There are endless possibilities tied to every story, which may not just belong to a single creator, but instead be a shared experience across timelines. The Bootstrap Paradox serves as an invitation to imagine beyond what is known, urging curiosity and wonder at the interconnectedness of all knowledge. The concept of a predestination paradox invites us into the intriguing world of time travel and the complexities of cause and effect. Imagine a time traveler who embarks on a mission to prevent a catastrophic event, perhaps an accident that leads to significant harm, or even the loss of lives. This traveler, armed with knowledge of the future, moves back in time with the best intentions, believing they can change the course of history for the better. However, the events that unfold twist expectations in unexpected ways. Consider, for instance, a traveler journeying back to the year 1985 to prevent a major train accident. They believe that by warning the local authorities in advance, they can save many lives. But, as they make their way to the train station, small coincidences occur. Coincidentally, golden opportunities to promote their cause are missed. The traveler, perhaps late to deliver their message due to minor mishaps, inadvertently causes a series of events that escalate the situation. What they thought would be a simple alert transforms into a chaotic chain reaction. Their warning fails to reach the right people, and in their quest to be heard, they might even create distractions that lead to the initial accident becoming far worse than it was originally destined to be. By trying to prevent the accident, the very steps they took not only align with but actually foster the conditions for its occurrence. This loops back into the Predestination Paradox, showcasing how the very actions intended to alter the fate of individuals instead reinforce it. This intertwining of fate and the timeline creates a tapestry woven with intricate threads of inevitability. Each action taken by the time traveler spirals into unforeseen consequences, blurring the lines between heroism and unwitting complicity. Now take a moment to consider the philosophical implications of such a scenario. If events are predestined to happen, does free will still hold significance? The traveler had every intention to act with agency, to make choices that steer the future away from harm. Yet, the implications of their journey suggest that history is more like a resilient framework, one that bends but does not break in the hands of individuals. In a way, the universe seems to conspire to protect itself. Whenever someone attempts to change the past, the course of time pushes back, ensuring that certain events remain fixed. This brings to mind the famous phrase often associated with time travel: "You can't change the past." The time traveler, though equipped with knowledge and resolve, essentially becomes a cog in the wheel of fate, demonstrating the illusion of control over destiny. Imagine a different scenario where the time traveler inadvertently causes a minor event that seems trivial but is enough to set off a chain reaction. Picture them who unknowingly bumps into a critical figure with significant influence, diverting that person's attention or resources. This seemingly insignificant interaction might lead to larger consequences beyond anything we might anticipate. A lost train ticket, a changed meeting time, or even a forgotten but crucial message could ripple outward to reshape the future in disastrous ways. As we journey through the fascinating layers of these narratives, we also step into the realm of scientific theories, notably those proposed in physics. The notion that time might be nonlinear further complicates our understanding of predestination. According to various scientists and theorists, time could theoretically be viewed as a circular construct, where past, present, and future exist simultaneously, allowing events to influence one another without a clear line of causation. Let's dive deeper into the implications of this nonlinear perception. If past events can be influenced by those in the future, does that mean our present actions are already influenced by future decisions made possible through time travel? This circularity raises questions about the nature of our reality and guides us to consider the interconnectedness of actions, choices, and consequences. In literature and film, predestination paradoxes explore these intricate webs of time with gripping narratives. Stories such as these often captivate our imagination by placing characters in tough ethical dilemmas. Should they act knowing that their actions might lead back to the very fate they wish to avert? This moral quandary not only elevates storytelling, but also encourages audiences to meditate on their own lives. How often do we find ourselves facing choices that might lead us down paths we never intended to traverse? Through contemplating these situations, we realize that every decision is laden with significance. It reminds us that even the smallest event in our daily lives could hold the potential for unexpected outcomes. Each moment thrives on the unknown, encouraging us to approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness. In conclusion, the Predestination Paradox serves as a timeless narrative that engages our thoughts about fate, choice, and consequence. The journey of the time traveler and their earnest desire to alter history illustrates the complexity and nuance of our existence. As we reflect on these ideas, we see that each action we take, no matter how trivial it may seem, is part of a greater pattern, intricately woven through time. Whether one believes in free will or not, it becomes increasingly clear that our lives are interconnected in ways we may never fully comprehend. The beauty of this conundrum lies in its mystery, beckoning us to ponder, explore, and embrace the unique paths we tread. The realm of philosophy often invites us to ponder complex concepts that challenge our understanding of existence, reality, and even time. One of the fascinating topics that has emerged from this exploration is the ontological paradox. This paradox arises in discussions about time travel, and it delves into the intricate relationship between existence and the nature of objects or knowledge that may only come into being through the act of time travel itself. To understand the ontological paradox, let's begin with a simple idea, the concept of causality. In our everyday experience, we perceive a cause leading to an effect. For instance, if you water a plant, it grows. This causal relationship is straightforward and understandable. However, when the concept of time travel is introduced, our traditional understanding of cause and effect begins to unravel. Imagine a scenario in which a time traveler journeys to the past and inadvertently leaves behind a piece of knowledge, like a book filled with scientific discoveries or even an invention that has not yet been created. Suppose that this book, upon being discovered in the past, becomes the basis for an entire field of study, enriching human understanding and fostering technological advancements. Here, we face an intriguing question. Where did this knowledge originate? Did it come from the minds of people who wrote it, or did it come purely from the act of time travel? This leads us to the core of the ontological paradox. If the knowledge or item exists solely because of time travel, can we trace its origin? Is there a point in time where this knowledge or item was truly created, or does it exist in a state of perpetual emergence without a definitive source? This can feel similar to the well-known philosophical puzzle of the chicken and the egg, where one might ask, which came first? In the case of the ontological paradox, we must confront the notion of existence itself. Consider another example with a more tangible item. Let's say a time traveler brings a smartphone back to a historical period long before its invention. As people in the past interact with this device, they might be inspired to invent similar technologies, leading to a timeline where smartphones and other advanced technologies arrive far earlier than they did in our own history. However, if we trace back the timeline, the smartphone's existence depends entirely on the act of time travel. Here again, we may ask, when did the smartphone truly come into existence? It complicates the very fabric of reality. Furthermore, the ontological paradox doesn't just apply to objects, but also to knowledge, ideas, and even events. Imagine if a poet from the future travels back in time and recites a remarkable poem. The poem becomes legendary, influencing countless writers throughout history. Yet, if the poem is only known because of time travel, then can we truly say it has a rightful place in the history of literature? Its existence is now a product of time travel, raising the question of authenticity and authorship. Philosophers have suggested various models to address these paradoxes. One such idea is the notion of the, quote, Bootstrap Paradox, where an object or piece of information exists without ever having a clear origin. In this model, you could consider it as though knowledge is a loop, where the future informs the past, and the past influences the future in a continuous cycle. This brings to light the nature of knowledge itself. Is it something created in a linear timeline, or is it an evolving construct shaped by lived experiences and interactions across time? Moreover, this complexity extends to personal identity. If a person learns something in the past due to a piece of future knowledge, does that alter their path in life? For example, if a scientist in the past gains access to advanced theories and concepts, how would that modify their discoveries and contributions to the field? Would they create different innovations based on this knowledge? The implications reach far beyond theoretical musings and tap into the essence of what it means to grow and develop. The ontological paradox encourages us to rethink our ideas of existence and causality. It asks us to engage in an examination of reality that defies traditional boundaries, and instead opens our minds to possibilities we may never have considered. It tests the limits of not only philosophy, but also our understanding of time itself. As you reflect on these ideas, consider how they might apply to your own experiences. Just as time travel grooves a path through complex timelines, our own lives may twist and turn in ways that challenge our perception of cause and effect. In contemplating these intricate relationships, we find a profound richness in the fabric of reality, inviting us into a deeper understanding of existence and the interplay of time, knowledge, and identity. In summary, the ontological paradox presents an exciting dialogue about the nature of existence. It compels us to question where knowledge originates and how our understanding of reality might shift when we introduce time travel into the equation. Through this exploration, we not only grapple with abstract ideas, but also engage with the very essence of what makes us human, our thoughts, our creativity, and our capacity to learn and adapt across the vast continuum of time. Imagine a game of billiards. The green felt of the table stretches out before you, the shiny balls glinting under soft lights. Now, consider a peculiar twist. Instead of just playing a game within the confines of space, you introduce a phenomenon that defies the ordinary rules of time and space, a wormhole. This is where Polchinski's paradox begins to unfold. Picture this. A billiard ball, struck with just the right amount of force, travels toward a wormhole. This isn't just any wormhole. It's a theoretical shortcut through spacetime, allowing the ball to emerge in a different time and place. Let's say the ball emerges in the past, just moments before it was struck. As it travels through the wormhole, it does not simply age. Rather, it appears in a previous state of existence. Now, here comes the critical moment. The billiard ball, as it exits the wormhole, is on a collision course with its past self, which is still in motion on the billiard table. What happens during this collision raises fascinating questions about the nature of time and causality. Can an object collide with itself without conflicting with the very laws of physics? At this point, we delve into the heart of Polchinski's paradox. The collision creates a situation where the ball's presence in the past influences its own future. If the ball collides with itself, some theorists argue that it could effectively change its trajectory, creating an outcome that contradicts how the game was originally played. This leads to intriguing implications about self-consistency in the universe. Let's visualize this interaction. Imagine the two billiard balls, one freshly struck and traveling across the table, and the other emerging from the wormhole. When they collide, what happens? Does the impact send both balls off in new directions, or does something altogether unexpected occur? Continually, we grapple with the notion of self-consistency. Can the universe allow events to unfold without contradiction, or are we trapped in a loop of endless paradox? The implications extend beyond just billiard balls. Consider time travel in stories, where characters venture back in time and interact with their previous selves. Such narratives often sidestep the complications of the Polchinski paradox, but they don't completely escape the unavoidable questions. If one could alter their actions in the past, would that create a new timeline, or is the original timeline immutable? To explore further, let's consider another analogy, a river. The water flows continuously, yet if someone were to travel upstream through a wormhole and intervene, it raises questions about how the flow changes. Is it still the same river, or has the action altered the course of its journey? Each interaction potentially creates new tributaries, but what if the act of intervention loops back to create tension with the original flow? This paradox forces us to think deeply about causality. As we consider the billiard ball's journey through time, we must ponder how the fabric of reality weaves itself. If a cause can lead to multiple contradictory outcomes, does that compromise the very idea of time itself? The interplay of fate and free will collides, mirroring the collision of our billiard balls. Physicists and philosophers alike have grappled with these ideas for years. Some posit that if such events were possible, the universe would inherently evolve mechanisms to prevent contradictions. This self-consistency principle suggests that despite the temptation of infinity in possibilities, each round of billiards played would ultimately resolve to maintain a coherent narrative. However, the enigma of Polchinski's paradox does not end here. Consider the implications of a world where these potentials could be explored. Would we be curious enough to travel back and face our previous selves? The psychological ramifications would be immense. Imagine confronting past decisions, errors, or even moments of triumph. The meeting of your two selves might lead to an intriguing dialogue, a clash of different perspectives that could hold insights about your character. As we navigate the implications of this paradox, it opens vast realms of curiosity about the universe and existence itself. Theoretical discussions around Polchinski's paradox encourage limitless exploration into the nature of reality, origins of time, and whether we're bound by a linear path or free to manipulate the threads of our narrative. Thus, the journey of the billiard ball through a wormhole exposes more than just a collision in space. It invites us to ponder the intricate dance of time, causality, and our own existence. Through this lens, Polchinski's paradox becomes more than a mere academic exercise. It is a key that unlocks profound philosophical questions about the universe and our place within it. Ultimately, it highlights the complexity of our understanding of reality, where every action resonates through time, challenging us to think about the consequences of our choices and the interconnectedness of our lives. The Fermi Paradox is a captivating concept that invites us to ponder our existence within the cosmos. At its core, it raises a simple yet profound question. If the universe is so vast and potentially teeming with life, why have we not encountered any extraterrestrial beings? This inquiry is not merely about the absence of alien life. It dives deeper into the very nature of our understanding of the universe and our place within it. The essence of the paradox can be traced back to the sheer scale of the universe. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, contains billions of stars, each potentially hosting planets. Some of these planets sit within the, quote, habitable zone, where conditions might allow for life as we know it to thrive. With the astounding number of stars in just our galaxy, all of which have existed for billions of years, one would expect that intelligent life should have emerged multiple times. Yet, we look up at the night sky and see only darkness. This dichotomy raises a host of questions about the nature of life, intelligence, and even the future of intelligent civilizations. One of the most compelling aspects of the Fermi Paradox lies in the concept of probability. Statistically, given the vast number of planets, it seems likely that life exists somewhere among them. Not only does the probability suggest many planets could support life, but it also implies that some of these civilizations could be far more advanced than ours, capable of interstellar communication or travel. So, if the math supports the existence of alien life, the next logical step is to wonder why they haven't visited us or made contact. One potential explanation for this paradox is the idea of the Great Filter, a hypothetical stage in a civilization's evolution that is incredibly hard to surpass. This Great Filter could exist either in the early stages of life, where developing intelligent life is exceedingly rare, or later, when civilizations inevitably self-destruct through war, environmental collapse, or other catastrophic events. If the Great Filter lies behind us, we might be incredibly lucky to have emerged intact. But if it lies ahead, it raises the unsettling possibility that humanity may not have a long-term future. Another intriguing line of thought is the notion that advanced civilizations might simply have different priorities. They may not be interested in making contact with us for a variety of reasons. Perhaps they are so advanced that they have moved beyond physical exploration and are engaged in pursuits we can hardly comprehend, such as vast interstellar projects or forms of communication we cannot even detect. They could be observing us from a distance, or perhaps they have established protocols that prevent them from introducing themselves to less advanced species. The search for extraterrestrial life today has also been greatly influenced by our search for technological signals. Programs like SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, scan the cosmos for radio waves and signals that could indicate the presence of advanced civilizations. Yet, as we continue to search, we realize that silence is the prevailing norm. This silence does not merely reinforce the challenge of the paradox. It leads us to contemplate our own existence, how human civilization is viewed from the outside, and what it means to be alive in this immense universe. Additionally, we must consider our technological limitations. Despite our advancements, scanning the entire universe for signs of other intelligent life is an incredible challenge. The distances involved are vast, and even with our most sophisticated tools, our reach is limited. We have only begun to scratch the surface in our exploration of the cosmos, and we may simply not be able to perceive or understand the signs of life that are out there. Another fascinating perspective revolves around the concept of time. The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years old. Civilizations may rise and fall on scales that are hard for us to comprehend, existing in the universe long enough for them to leave imprints, or not existing at the same time as ours. The timing of our emergence may not align with that of any advanced species, leading to a cosmic lottery where the chances of overlapping with another civilization are slim. Theories in the realm of metaphysics and philosophy also play a role in understanding our place in the universe. If intelligent life is not as abundant as we expect, it forces us to reflect on the unique conditions that allowed human civilization to arise. What are the qualities of Earth that have fostered such a diverse biosphere? What does it mean for us as a species? And what responsibilities do we bear toward ourselves and our planet? The Fermi Paradox, therefore, isn't just a question about the existence of extraterrestrial life. It's a deeper inquiry into the nature of existence, intelligence, and survival in a vast and interconnected universe. It challenges us to expand our perspective and consider that we may be part of a greater cosmic story, one that is still unfolding. As we gaze upon the stars, we are reminded of our traditions, our histories, and the narratives we've woven throughout time. We find ourselves asking critical questions about who we are in relation to the cosmos, and whether we are truly alone in this endless expanse. The beauty of the Fermi Paradox is that it serves as a gateway to infinite curiosity, encouraging a journey into both the known and the unknown. The concept of time travel has fascinated humanity for generations, and it has sparked countless discussions on its implications and paradoxes. One of the most intriguing of these paradoxes is known as the consistency paradox. Imagine a time traveler venturing into the past with the intention of changing a significant event. The traveler might aim to prevent a historical disaster, interfere with a moment of personal struggle, or even attempt to meet a famous figure. However, upon arriving, the traveler quickly discovers that making changes isn't as straightforward as it seems. Consider a simple example. A time traveler goes back to the 1980s to prevent a small car accident involving their own grandparent. At first, it appears that they could easily divert the grandparent's route, ensuring they never encounter that fateful intersection. But then, something unexpected happens. Perhaps due to an unforeseen chain reaction, diverting the car leads to an even more severe accident involving another person. In this scenario, does the time traveler have the power to truly change the past, or are they merely reshaping the future? This perplexing web of events creates what we know as the consistency paradox. In essence, it suggests that if a time traveler were to alter a significant event, they would inadvertently create inconsistencies in the very timeline they aim to change. The universe seems to possess a remarkable ability to maintain its own coherence. It is as if reality has a built-in mechanism to resist disruptions. While the intentions may be noble, the outcomes reveal a shocking truth. Reality fights back against attempts to alter its course. Another common illustration of this paradox involves the infamous grandfather paradox. Imagine a time traveler who journeys back in time and accidentally prevents their grandfather from meeting their grandmother. If this occurs, the time traveler would never be born. This presents a dilemma. If the time traveler was never born, how could they have traveled back in time to prevent the meeting in the first place? This illustrates the complex intertwining of cause and effect in our universe, leaving us grappling with the realities of time and space. The consistency paradox challenges our understanding of free will and destiny. Are we truly the architects of our fate? Or are we merely actors following a script written by the cosmos? This notion becomes even more perplexing when we consider the concept of parallel universes. If multiple timelines or realities exist simultaneously, changing events in one timeline could theoretically give rise to another. Yet this too leads back to questions of continuity and coherence, creating a labyrinth of possibilities and outcomes. Moreover, many time travel narratives utilize creative ways to address the consistency paradox. In some films and literature, time travelers are equipped with knowledge that allows them to work around potential disruptions. For instance, in a well-known movie franchise, a character is aware of the unfolding events and can influence moments without causing ripples in the timeline. Characters often find themselves opting for subtle nudges rather than direct alterations. By planting a seed in the past rather than uprooting a tree, they create a ripple effect that nudges the timeline in a desirable direction without triggering the chaos of contradictions. As we delve deeper into the implications of the consistency paradox, one cannot ignore the philosophical questions it raises. If time travel were possible, what responsibilities would time travelers bear? Would they have the right to redefine historical events? Would they be viewed as saviors, or would their actions lead to unforeseen consequences? The moral dilemmas embedded in such choices stir the imagination and challenge our ethics. Exploring these ideas further, we find ourselves drifting into the realms of speculative fiction, where authors play with timelines and inconsistencies to craft engaging narratives. We often see protagonists wrestling with their decisions while navigating the twists and turns of time. With every choice, they confront the shadow of paradoxes lurking behind every action, urging them to think twice before making a move. In reality, the beauty of the consistency paradox lies in its blend of science fiction and philosophical inquiry. It forces us to examine our understanding of time and the impact of our actions. While time travel remains firmly grounded in the realm of imagination for now, the questions it raises are very real. As we ponder the limitations of our understanding of time, we unlock new layers of curiosity and wonder. In conclusion, The consistency paradox serves as a fascinating lens through which we can explore the nature of reality and the enigmatic relationship we have with time. It invites us to consider the delicate balance of cause and effect, as well as the responsibilities that come with the manipulation of events. While we may never know the true workings of time and its mysteries, the exploration of such concepts deepens our appreciation of the world around us, revealing that time, like a river, flows in a specific direction, ebbing and flowing with the decisions we make, both big and small. The consistency paradox challenges us to embrace the unpredictability of life, reminding us that some moments are meant to play out just as they are, without intervention from those who wander through time. Time travel has long captured the imagination of storytellers, scientists, and dreamers alike, inviting a discussion filled with wonder and complexity. One intriguing aspect of this speculative phenomenon is the concept of temporal paradoxes, which dive into the contradictions and dilemmas that can arise when changes are made to a timeline. Imagine a scenario where you could go back in time and meet your younger self. What if your actions in the past shifted your history in a way that created inconsistencies? This fascinating interplay of events raises questions that challenge our understanding of cause and effect. One famous illustration of a temporal paradox is the grandfather paradox. Picture this. A time traveler journeys back to a time before their grandfather had any children. In an unfortunate twist of fate, the time traveler inadvertently prevents their grandfather from meeting their future grandmother. The outcome? If their grandfather never had children, the time traveler would never have been born. This creates a logical contradiction. How could the time traveler exist to alter the past in the first place? This paradox presents an essential question. Does changing an event in the past alter the present, or does the timeline adjust itself to prevent such contradictions? Another mind-bending paradox is the concept of the Bootstrap Paradox, which raises similar questions of causality. In this scenario, a time traveler discovers a piece of music from the future. Fascinated, they learn the song and travel back in time to perform it for the first time. The strange twist is that this very act of performing the song then leads to its eventual creation in the future again. At first glance, one might wonder who originally wrote the song and where did it come from? The history is circular, with no clear origin, leaving us pondering the nature of creativity and originality in a time-altered universe. These paradoxes lead to significant philosophical inquiries. If time travel were possible, what implications would it have on our understanding of free will? Would our choices truly matter if every decision could be revisited or altered? Consider an individual who travels back to correct a mistake, perhaps a wrong decision that led to heartbreak. Though the act may seem noble, it sparks questions about the consequences of that change. Would the new timeline create unintended ripple effects that could cause more harm than good? The implications of temporal paradoxes extend beyond the realm of philosophy into the scientific domain. Physicists, such as Albert Einstein, have explored concepts related to time and space, hinting at the complexities involved in bending or warping time. Theories related to wormholes, for instance, suggest potential shortcuts through space-time that could theoretically allow interactions with the past or future. Yet, this concept also introduces its own challenges, as the stability of such constructs remains a topic of ongoing research and debate. As we explore these paradoxes further, one can envision various theories proposed to reconcile the inconsistencies. One such idea is the multiverse theory, suggesting that each alteration in the timeline creates a new branch or bubble of reality. In this view, every time a time traveler makes a change, they do not alter their original timeline, but instead create a new, parallel timeline, where events unfold differently. This intriguing model provides a fascinating way to consider temporal changes without creating contradictions. Each choice branches off into a new universe, a complex web of realities existing side by side. In popular culture, time travel narratives often delve into these paradoxes, engaging audiences with their thrilling implications. Films such as Back to the Future and Looper creatively explore the consequences of time travel, while cleverly weaving in elements of humor, suspense, and moral dilemmas. Literature, too, has not shied away from this rich territory, with authors like H.G. Wells in The Time Machine, and more contemporary writers engaging with the possibilities and pitfalls of time travel. Our relationship with time itself is laden with curiosity. Time is relentless, continually marching forward, yet the thought of revisiting moments in our lives basks in the glow of desire and wonder. What if we could relive cherished memories, or have a chance to correct our missteps? While these explorations are captivating, they carry the weight of uncertainty and complexity. The allure of situations where we can negotiate our past invites both excitement and trepidation. Temporal paradoxes enable us to question our beliefs about reality, forcing us to confront the intricate tapestry that is time. Each thread, woven with intention and consequence, reflects not just the choices we make, but the myriad of possibilities that flow from them. As we reflect on these paradoxical journeys through time, we find ourselves at the crossroads of imagination and reason, appealing to our deepest curiosities about existence. So next time you ponder the possibility of time travel, remember that with every action could come a cascade of unforeseen destinies. The universe, vast and enigmatic, remains shrouded in potential, illustrating the fascinating, sometimes perplexing dance of history and possibility. The exploration of temporal paradoxes invites us to marvel at the complexities of our universe, where time may indeed be as fluid as our imaginations allow. Embrace the paradox and let your mind wander through the infinite threads of potentiality that time travel presents. This intricate dance of past, present, and future beckons us to delve deeper into the essence of reality itself, a journey worth taking. Time dilation is a fascinating phenomenon that challenges our conventional understanding of time. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is not a constant, unchanging entity that ticks away uniformly. Instead, it can stretch and compress depending on an object's velocity and the gravitational field it experiences. This concept opens up a world of possibilities and questions about the nature of time itself. To understand time dilation, let's first consider the scenario of two observers, one on Earth and the other traveling in a spaceship at a significant fraction of the speed of light. While the Earth observer experiences time in what seems like a normal flow, the astronaut aboard the fast-moving spaceship experiences time at a different rate. To the astronaut, the clock in the spaceship ticks normally, but when viewed from Earth, that same clock appears to tick more slowly. This effect becomes even more pronounced as the spaceship approaches the speed of light. Imagine a spacecraft traveling at 80% of the speed of light. If the astronaut aboard this ship were to look at their watch, every second would feel just like a second. However, for the observer remaining on Earth, each second of the astronaut's journey could translate into several seconds or even minutes of Earth time. In essence, the faster you travel, the more you experience a slowdown in time compared to someone who remains stationary. This phenomenon has been confirmed through numerous experiments. For example, highly accurate atomic clocks have been flown on airplanes and compared to those kept on the ground. These experiments consistently show that the clocks on the planes, which are in motion relative to those on the ground, record time differently. This real-world demonstration of time dilation lends credence to Einstein's revolutionary ideas. Now let's delve into gravitational time dilation, another aspect of this complex subject. According to relativity, time is also affected by gravity. A clock placed at a lower elevation, closer to a massive body like Earth, ticks slightly slower compared to a clock positioned higher up, where the gravitational pull is weaker. Imagine you have one clock at sea level and another on a mountaintop. While both appear to function normally, the clock on the mountain will run a fraction faster than the one at sea level. This effect, albeit tiny, has been measured and is accounted for in technologies like GPS. Time dilation leads to intriguing implications in discussions about time travel. Many popular films and books explore the idea of traveling in time, often employing these principles of relativity to create stories where characters can visit the past or future. The concept suggests that if one could find a way to travel at velocities close to the speed of light, they might experience a mere few hours of travel while years or even centuries could pass on Earth. However, the practicalities of such travel remain a challenge, leaving these ideas largely in the realm of science fiction. Another way to visualize time dilation is to consider twin paradoxes. Imagine two twins, one who stays on Earth and the other who embarks on a journey through space at high speeds. When the traveling twin returns, they will find that they have aged less than their earthbound sibling. This scenario illustrates not only the strange nature of time, as described by relativity, but also serves as a reminder of how different experiences can shape one's perception of time. The implications of time dilation reach beyond the realm of hypothetical discussions and our understanding of the universe. It has practical applications in modern technology. For instance, the Global Positioning System, GPS, which aids in navigation around the world, relies on satellites that orbit the Earth and experience both velocity and gravitational time dilation. Engineers must adjust the timing signals from these satellites to ensure accurate location data. Without accounting for time dilation, GPS would accumulate significant errors, making it less reliable. Time dilation thus serves as a bridge between the abstract theories of physics and tangible applications that touch our everyday lives. It continually reshapes our understanding of reality, pushing boundaries that redefine how we perceive time and space. In summary, time dilation is a captivating concept rooted in Einstein's theory of relativity. It teaches us that time is not a rigid framework but a flexible component of the universe, influenced by velocity and gravity. Whether one is considering the possibilities of time travel or simply marveling at the intricate connections between time and motion, the discussions surrounding time dilation challenge our perceptions and invite us to explore even deeper mysteries of the cosmos. Each tick of a clock, each moment passed, holds secrets that may lead us to understand not just how the universe operates, but our place within it as well. The chronology protection conjecture is a fascinating idea put forth by the renowned physicist Stephen Hawking. It presents an intriguing way of looking at time travel and the nature of our universe. In essence, this hypothesis suggests that the laws of physics possess a built-in mechanism to prevent time travel, thus protecting the historical continuum from paradoxes that could arise if changes to the past were possible. Imagine a scenario where time travel became a reality. A time traveler could, for instance, venture back to ancient Rome, perhaps to witness a grand event like the Ides of March, or to meet historical figures such as Julius Caesar or Augustus. However, this notion opens the door to a myriad of complications. What if the time traveler accidentally altered a crucial moment in history? Such changes could potentially lead to a butterfly effect, where even the smallest action has monumental ripple effects throughout time. Hawking's conjecture touches on this very idea, postulating that the universe has mechanisms that prevent such paradoxes from occurring. One of the most famous examples of a paradox is the grandfather paradox. This hypothetical scenario suggests that if someone were to travel back in time and prevent their grandfather from meeting their grandmother, the time traveler would never be born. This contradiction raises serious questions about causality and the nature of existence itself. Hawking argued that if time travel to the past were possible, it might result in closed time-like curves, paths in spacetime that loop back on themselves. While these curves are mathematically permissible within the framework of general relativity, they also suggest scenarios that could lead to contradictions. To explain this, consider the idea of a time loop, where an event recurs again and again, creating a cycle that could frustrate or even eliminate the notion of free will. This cyclical nature could impose restrictions on how events unfold, thus sparking devastating consequences if one were to manipulate time. The conjecture does not only encompass the flow of time, but also essentially embodies the very foundations of how the universe operates. Natural law, as we understand through physics, seems to uphold a consistent narrative of events, thus preserving history as it is supposed to happen. Furthermore, the laws of thermodynamics, particularly the second law, imply that systems tend to progress toward disorder or entropy. If one were able to travel back in time and attempt to reorder past events, the fabric of order itself would be challenged, leading to unpredictable results. Additionally, Hawking introduced the notion that certain physical phenomena might act as a defense mechanism against paradoxical situations. Some theories suggest that as a time traveler nears the point of temporal transition, the probabilities of events change to avoid contradictions, actively resisting any attempts to alter time. For instance, if a time traveler is determined to change a significant historical event, various unexplainable mishaps could prevent this from unfolding, maybe a sudden malfunction in the time machine, unexpected weather changes, or even an unforeseen event that draws the traveler away from their intended destination. The debate surrounding the chronology protection conjecture also opens the door to discussions about the laws of quantum mechanics, which govern the behavior of particles at the smallest scales. Quantum theory often introduces an element of randomness and unpredictability. This unpredictability may play a significant role in further inhibiting time travel by creating a branching multiverse. In this framework, every action may lead to multiple possible outcomes, each resulting in a different version of reality. Therefore, any changes made in the past could lead to the formation of a new timeline, rather than affecting the original. Such notions offer a glimpse into a more complex and layered understanding of time. The simplicity with which we perceive time as a linear progression from past to present to future is challenged by these theories. In the grand scheme of the universe, time may operate in ways we have yet to fully comprehend. Hawking's work on this conjecture contributes to a broader exploration of time, space, and the fundamental laws that govern our existence. It raises questions about whether time is an immutable river, flowing inexorably in one direction, or whether it contains hidden depths and complexities we have yet to uncover. Such contemplations impel us to consider the implications of our actions and decisions, emphasizing the interconnected fabric of reality. In a world increasingly fascinated by the possibilities of science fiction, Hawking's chronology protection conjecture serves as a reminder that while the allure of time travel captivates our imagination, the interplay of history, causality, and the laws of physics may act as unseen guardians, preserving the integrity of our past. The exploration of such rich and profound ideas allows us to reflect on our journey through time, whether it be through the lens of history, science, or the limitless imagination of our minds. And perhaps in this reflection lies a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit. Retrocausality is a rather fascinating concept that flips the traditional idea of cause and effect on its head. Normally, we think of events flowing in one direction. Causes lead to effects in a linear timeline. For instance, if you water a plant, it grows. The watering is the cause, and the growth is the effect. However, retrocausality suggests that future events can influence past events, creating a more complex interplay between time and causation. To understand retrocausality, let's dive into some intriguing examples and theories. Imagine a scenario where a scientist conducts an experiment that, unbeknownst to them, creates a ripple effect backward in time. For instance, suppose that during their experiment they send a signal to their past self, warning them of a mistake they are about to make. This warning allows the past self to avoid the error, thereby changing the outcome of the experiment itself. In this case, future knowledge directly influences a past action. It feels like a plot twist in a time travel movie, doesn't it? This idea has roots in various fields, including philosophy and quantum physics. In quantum mechanics, retrocausality is sometimes discussed in the context of entangled particles. When two particles are entangled, changes to one can instantly affect the other, regardless of the distance between them. Some interpretations suggest that perhaps the future measurement of one particle can influence the state of another particle retroactively, hinting at a deeper connection across time itself. Philosophically, retrocausality raises questions about free will and determinism. If future events can alter past actions, does that mean our choices are not as free as we believe? For instance, consider a decision we make today that seems like a personal choice influenced only by present circumstances. If a future event influences our past, it invites the possibility that we might not be the sole authors of our decisions. The implications can lead to a rich discussion about fate, destiny, and the nature of time. One classic illustration of retrocausality can be found in the story of the grandfather paradox. Imagine someone travels back in time and inadvertently prevents their grandfather from meeting their grandmother. The result? They never exist. But if they never existed, how could they have traveled back in time in the first place? This paradox captures the complex nature of time and causation, and while it seems contradictory, proponents of retrocausality argue that there might be scenarios where such modifications could coexist without leading to absurd outcomes. In recent years, scientists and philosophers have started exploring retrocausality more earnestly. Several discussions have emerged on how retrocausal interpretations might provide answers to some of the more perplexing questions in physics. For instance, the need to reconcile quantum mechanics with general relativity remains a major challenge. Some physicists propose that accepting a retrocausal model of time could unveil new insights that integrate these two fundamental frameworks. Think of a movie with a non-linear narrative, where the ending unfolds, altering your perception of the beginning. Retrocausality is similar. It suggests that the future could redesign our understanding of the past, adding layers to our experiences and knowledge of how events interconnect. It transforms the timeline from a simple series of events into an intricate web, where threads from various moments influence each other. Additionally, retrocausality can inspire creativity and innovation. Consider artistic endeavors, where a piece of music or a painting takes on new meaning or interpretation after new insights arise. What if the future interpretations of a work of art could shape its creation? This could lead artists to experiment with their craft in ways they had never considered, almost as if they were receiving inspiration from the future. Engaging with retrocausality opens the door to a playful and thought-provoking exploration of our existence. It invites us to consider how our actions today might resonate into tomorrow, instigating reflections on the choices we make and how they could echo across time in unforeseen ways. So, as you now explore the universe of retrocausality, think of the stories and theories that spark curiosity within you. Allow your mind to swirl through the complexities it presents, considering how each thought may weave itself into a vibrant tapestry of time, space, and narrative. The intersection of our present, with the remnants of the past, shaped by the potential of the future, is a canvas ripe for exploration. Each moment holds a story waiting to unfold, subtly interconnecting with all that was, is, and could be. The double-slit experiment is a fascinating demonstration in the field of quantum mechanics that reveals the strange and sometimes counterintuitive nature of the microscopic world. The experiment involves a simple yet profound setup that can lead to a wide array of interpretations about how we perceive reality and the universe. Imagine a source that emits tiny particles, like photons or electrons, toward a barrier with two slits. Behind the barrier, there is a screen where we can observe the behavior of these particles. When we do not observe which slit the particles pass through, when we allow them to behave freely, an astonishing pattern emerges on the screen. Instead of producing two distinct lines corresponding to the two slits, a series of alternating dark and light bands forms. This is known as an interference pattern, which is characteristic of waves. This interference effect suggests that the particles are behaving like waves and interfering with themselves. When one particle travels through both slits at the same time, it creates overlapping waves, leading to areas of constructive and destructive interference. Where the waves combine positively, we see bright lines on the screen, and where they cancel each other out, we observe dark lines. However, the intrigue of the double-slit experiment intensifies when we introduce observation. If we place a detector at the slits to observe which slit a particle goes through, the behavior changes dramatically. Instead of exhibiting wave-like properties and forming an interference pattern, the particles behave like little solid entities. We then see two distinct lines on the screen, corresponding to each slit, as if the particles chose a definitive path when we looked at them. This change seems to suggest that the mere act of observation collapses a wave function, forcing the particle into a specific state. This peculiar behavior raises profound questions about the nature of observation itself. What does it mean for something to be observed? Is there an intrinsic quality to particles that makes them behave differently when they are under scrutiny? This discussion leads to deeper inquiries about reality and perception. Are we, as observers, shaping the universe around us? The double-slit experiment has implications that extend beyond mere particle behavior. It has sparked countless debates among physicists, philosophers, and enthusiasts about the nature of reality, consciousness, and time. One popular interpretation is that of the many worlds theory, which proposes that each time a quantum event occurs, multiple outcomes unfold in parallel worlds. Therefore, when a particle travels through the slits, it isn't simply going through one or the other. Rather, it essentially takes every possible path, creating a multitude of realities simultaneously. This line of thought evokes intriguing considerations about time and how we experience it. In our daily lives, time seems linear and consistent. We understand it as a flow from past to present to future. However, the implications of the double-slit experiment hint at a far more complicated interplay of time, suggesting that all possibilities may coexist in a superposition until observed. This raises tantalizing questions. Could our understanding of time be merely a construct? Are we experiencing just one facet of what could be a myriad of temporal dimensions? Additionally, the effects of the double-slit experiment relate to concepts like entanglement, where particles become interconnected in ways that defy classical physics. When entangled particles are separated by great distances, changes to one particle can instantly affect the other, regardless of the space between them. This phenomenon furthers the conversation about the limits of knowledge and the nature of causal relationships in the universe. As we delve deeper into the mysteries presented by quantum mechanics, the double-slit experiment remains a quintessential example that bridges the gap between observable phenomena and the abstract nature of existence. It invites us to question what we think we know and how we interact with the universe. Are we passive observers, or do our actions influence the very fabric of reality? The implications of the double-slit experiment extend far beyond physics. They touch on philosophy, suggesting profound interconnections between consciousness, measurement, and reality. As we continue to explore the depths of quantum mechanics, the double-slit experiment stands as a remarkable testament to the wonders of scientific inquiry, igniting our imaginations while deepening our understanding of the universe in which we dwell. Every time we consider this experiment, we are not just contemplating a principle of physics. We are engaging with the fundamental questions about existence itself. The dance between waves and particles, observation and reality, challenges us to embrace a more nuanced understanding of the world and our place in it, unlocking new pathways of thought across various domains of inquiry. Thus, the double-slit experiment remains not just an experiment of particles, but a gateway to the exploration of countless possibilities that intrigue both scientists and thinkers alike. The Novikov self-consistency principle is an intriguing concept that sheds light on the nature of time travel and the potential paradoxes associated with it. At its core, this principle suggests that if time travel were possible, any actions taken by a time traveler would have to be consistent with the timeline, hence preventing any contradictions or paradoxes from occurring. Imagine, for instance, a time traveler embarking on a journey to the past with an intent to change a significant historical event. Perhaps they wish to prevent a notable figure from meeting a tragic end, believing that this alteration would lead to a better outcome for humanity. However, according to the Novikov self-consistency principle, the timeline would not allow for this change to happen in a way that created a paradox. Instead, the actions taken by the time traveler would align with the existing events of the timeline, ensuring that whatever steps they took would ultimately lead to the same historical conclusion. Let's take the classic example of a time traveler who goes back to meet a renowned inventor. While in the past, the traveler might inadvertently provide the inventor with crucial knowledge or documentation that they originally would not have had. Instead of causing a rift in time by changing history, the time traveler's actions would already be woven into the fabric of the timeline. The inventor uses that information to create their inventions, and thus the timeline remains intact, creating a loop of causality that aligns with what we already know. This principle not only prevents chaotic time alterations, but also raises fascinating questions about our understanding of fate and free will. If the past is immutable due to the self-consistency of actions, does that mean events are predestined? The implications are profound, as they touch on philosophical issues that have puzzled thinkers for centuries. In a narrative context, novels and movies often explore this principle while illustrating its intriguing effects. Take, for instance, a story where our protagonist travels to the past to stop a disaster. As they navigate through critical moments, every attempt they make leads to unexpected outcomes that reinforce rather than disrupt the timeline. Each action they take is counterbalanced by a reaction that keeps the established reality from splintering. This becomes a compelling narrative where the struggle against fate is played out, ultimately leading to the understanding that some events are meant to unfold as they always have. Furthermore, the Novikov self-consistency principle finds its footing in various scientific discussions, particularly in the realm of theoretical physics. Physicists ponder how time travel could function under the laws of the universe. The principle acts as a guiding concept, suggesting that the laws of physics would inherently prevent scenarios that lead to inconsistencies in time travel, preserving the order of the universe. Consider a fictional scenario where a scientist invents a time machine and mistakenly travels back to his own childhood. If he laments a childhood decision and tries to change it, his efforts could inadvertently create the very conditions that led him to invent the time machine in the first place. This cyclical relationship illustrates the self-consistency aspect beautifully. The actions taken do not alter the past, but instead reaffirm it. The idea extends into the realms of parallel universes as well, where an action taken in one timeline could spawn a new branch rather than disrupt the original. It opens the door to speculation and imaginative scenarios where time travelers might interact with alternate versions of history that remain untouched, based upon the original timeline that they are familiar with. In summary, the Novikov self-consistency principle serves as a thought-provoking exploration of time, causality, and the possible implications of time travel. It argues that any actions undertaken to change the past are already accounted for within the timeline, keeping history unchanged in its essentials. This principle not only makes narratives engaging, but also challenges our perceptions of reality and fate. By considering such concepts, we explore the ever-present balance between our desires for change and the structure of the world as we know it. Whether in literature, film, or scientific discourse, the Novikov self-consistency principle continues to inspire and intrigue those who contemplate the mysteries of time. Eternal return is a fascinating philosophical concept that suggests the universe experiences a cyclical nature, where events repeat themselves endlessly over time. Imagine, for a moment, that everything around you, every emotion, experience, and moment in history could occur over and over again, with no beginning and no end. This idea has intrigued thinkers and cultures throughout history, inviting deep contemplation about the nature of existence. One of the early proponents of this concept was the ancient philosopher Heraclitus, who famously stated that change is the only constant in life. He believed everything is in a constant state of flux, and while that may seem paradoxical, it hints at a larger pattern in the repetition of experiences. The idea of eternal return takes this notion further, suggesting that even amidst all this change, there exists a cycle of recurrence. Consider the natural world for a moment. The seasons, for example, follow a predictable pattern. Each year, we witness the cycle of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Flowers bloom, trees shed their leaves, and then the process begins anew. This cyclical nature invites us to reflect on how our lives may follow a similar pattern, with moments of growth, decline, and renewal. Let's dive deeper into history. Many ancient civilizations, such as the Maya and the ancient Egyptians, incorporated cyclical time into their cosmologies. The ancient Egyptians believed in a cycle of death and rebirth, epitomized by their sun god Ra, who traveled through the underworld each night and emerged anew each morning. This belief offered a profound sense of continuity and connection between life and the cosmic order. Eternal return encourages us not to see time as a linear progression, which often leads to feelings of urgency or pressure, but rather as a series of loops. Picture a grand Ferris wheel. Each passenger experiences a rise and a fall, but they are always on that wheel, cyclically returning to the same point. This perspective allows for an appreciation of each moment as not isolated but part of a larger tapestry woven through time and existence. In literature, this theme has been explored in various works. One famous example is Friedrich Nietzsche, who suggested that life might be lived over and over again. Imagine every joy, sorrow, and experience repeating infinitely. This challenges us to consider how we approach our choices and actions. If we were to experience them repeatedly, would we live differently? Would we embrace each moment more fully, knowing its eternal significance? Nature also provides us with countless examples of cycles. In ecosystems, predator and prey relationships illustrate a balance that is both continual and transformative. The food chain reveals how energy flows through various forms of life, creating interconnected stories. From the microscopic to the cosmic, every organism plays a role in a story that has great depth and complexity. The idea of eternal return resonates here, reminding us that while we may think we are individual entities, we are all part of a grand cycle that binds us together. Looking at our own lives, we might find patterns or themes that recur. Relationships may come and go, careers may change, yet there are lessons that seem to repeat until we learn them. It could be beneficial to take a moment to reflect on your own journey, the choices you've made, and the experiences that keep surfacing. What do they reveal to you about yourself? This forms the foundation of the concept of eternal return. Every cycle can illuminate our understanding and foster personal growth. As we explore this notion, we can also think about the universe itself. The concept of cosmic cycles comes into play when we consider the life cycle of stars and galaxies. Stars are born, they shine brightly for millions of years, and eventually, they collapse and may explode into a supernova, scattering elements necessary for new stars to form. It demonstrates a cosmic cycle of creation and destruction that mirrors the idea of eternal return. In a more abstract sense, time loops can appear in stories and folklore. Movies and literature often depict characters who relive a day, learning and growing through repetition. Each iteration offers a fresh perspective and opportunity for transformation. Think about how often people in stories make choices that lead to different outcomes. This reflects the potential for change, despite the same circumstances reappearing. Whether through whimsical magical realism or thoughtful science fiction, these narratives encapsulate the essence of eternal return, inviting us to ponder the implications of repetition in our own lives. In conclusion, the concept of eternal return encourages us to reflect on cycles within our lives and the universe at large. By recognizing enduring patterns, engaging with the rhythmic flow of seasons, and understanding the cosmic dance of creation and destruction, we connect to a grander design. This perspective invites us to appreciate the present moment, to learn from our past, and to embrace the notion that life is a beautiful, intricate tapestry of recurring experiences. So as you carry on with your journey through existence, remember that each moment contributes to the eternal cycle, an exquisite interplay of recurrence weaved into the fabric of reality itself. Imagine a universe filled with strange and wondrous things, where the fabric of reality is woven together in ways that can sometimes baffle the mind. Among these marvels are hypothetical structures known as cosmic strings. These are not physical strings like the ones you might use to tie something down. Rather, they are fascinating defects in the very fabric of space-time itself. The concept of cosmic strings originates from the field of cosmology, where scientists study the large-scale properties of the universe. According to theories developed in the context of the early universe, these strings could form as a result of phase transitions during moments of extreme energy. Picture a pot of boiling water where bubbles form as the water changes state. In a similar way, as the universe cooled and expanded, certain regions could have experienced significant shifts, leading to the creation of these unusual structures. Cosmic strings are theorized to be incredibly thin but infinitely long. Imagine a thread that stretches across the cosmos, possibly spanning billions of light years. Although they are one-dimensional in their essence, their effects are anything but simple. They could be incredibly dense, containing immense mass, which means that they would warp the surrounding spacetime. If you were to visualize spacetime as a two-dimensional sheet, placing a cosmic string would create a deep dent in that sheet. This curvature alters the paths taken by objects and even light around it. Now, why are cosmic strings so captivating? One reason stems from their potential relation to time. Some physicists speculate that the presence of a cosmic string could create scenarios conducive to time loops. Imagine a situation where one could harness the properties of a cosmic string to move through time in a non-linear fashion. This idea has intrigued scientists for decades and has made its way into the realm of science fiction. Let's consider a scenario. If a cosmic string is present in a certain configuration, it might allow a path to be traced back to an earlier point in time. This phenomenon hinges on the extreme warping of spacetime caused by the string. For example, if you were to travel near a cosmic string at high speeds, the intricate bending of time surrounding it could create an environment where paths intertwine, enabling you to circle back to your origin, albeit through complex and convoluted routes. In exploring these ideas, we tread into the territory of theoretical physics, where many of the notions remain unresolved and speculative. Scientists have been attempting to determine whether there is any observational evidence for cosmic strings. One of the ways researchers look for these might be through gravitational waves, subtle ripples in spacetime, caused by massive objects moving. If cosmic strings exist, they could theoretically create these waves, leaving behind a unique signature for us to detect. As we delve deeper into the universe, we find ourselves continually amazed by its intricacies. Cosmic strings, while yet to be proven, open up avenues of thought that stretch the imagination. They challenge our understanding of time itself and provoke fundamental questions about the nature of reality. Could these strings exist hidden in the vast dark ocean of the cosmos, weaving through dimensions we have yet to understand? As we ponder these possibilities, we cannot help but consider the implications of such structures on our perception of time and existence. Would traversing these strings allow us to meet past versions of ourselves, or alter the events that have led us to our present state? The philosophical implications are as vast as the cosmos itself. The allure of cosmic strings lies not just in their theoretical properties, but in the dreams they inspire. Whether one thinks of time machines, alternate realities, or vast cosmic landscapes, these hypothetical constructs spark imagination. In stories and films, we often see characters engaging with advanced technology to transcend time and space, but could the real secrets lie in the natural world around us, shaped by phenomena we have yet to fully comprehend? As we wrap up our journey through the concept of cosmic strings, it becomes clear that our quest for knowledge is limitless. Each new theory invites us to ask further questions. Each layer of understanding leads us deeper into the mysteries of the universe. While cosmic strings remain a theory, the discussions they inspire about time, space, and the fabric of reality enrich our understanding of what lies beyond our immediate perception. So despite the challenges of proving their existence, cosmic strings stand as a testament to the incredible depth and richness of the universe. They echo the eternal curiosity of humankind, driving us to look beyond what is known and sparking the imagination about what might be possible within the vast cosmos. As we continue to explore, Who knows what other wonders await us, hidden within the very essence of space-time? Imagine a world where time is not a linear path, but a winding loop that repeats itself in a cycle. This concept is known as a time loop, a fascinating narrative device often explored in fiction. The idea invites us to think deeply about the nature of time, our experiences, and the choices we make. In a typical time loop scenario, a character finds themselves stuck in a specific period that repeats over and over. The most classic example comes from the movie Groundhog Day, where the main character, Phil Connors, wakes up every day to find it is the same day again, February 2nd. At first, Phil is bewildered. He tries to disregard the pattern, reveling in a carefree lifestyle. He indulges in hedonistic pleasures, thinking he can use the loop to his advantage without consequence. However, as days turn into weeks, he grows increasingly desperate to break free. This repetition forces him to confront his flaws, evolve, and ultimately find a sense of purpose and connection with others. Time loops can challenge characters to reflect on their actions and decisions. In the television series Russian Doll, Nadia celebrates her 36th birthday, but finds herself dying and reliving the same night repeatedly. Each iteration pushes her to confront her past and the relationships she has neglected. The loop becomes a catalyst for growth, forcing her to reconsider the way she lives her life and values her connections. By facing the same situation multiple times, characters can explore different emotional depths, new interactions, and transformative moments. The concept of time loops often brings with it an inherent paradox. If time is circular, where does free will fit into this equation? Are the characters merely puppets bound by the threads of destiny, repeating the same mistakes and choices? Or can they truly learn and change, breaking free from the cycle? In stories like Edge of Tomorrow and Before I Fall, these questions become central themes as characters navigate their repetitive timelines, discovering that each choice can lead to different outcomes. Time loops can also reflect the repetitive nature of life itself. Consider how we often find ourselves stuck in routines, performing daily tasks with little variation. This repetition can lead us to feel disoriented or even trapped in a cycle of monotony. Yet, just as fictional characters can find meaning in their loops, we too can discover the beauty of small, everyday moments. Each day may feel similar, but it's essential to acknowledge that there is still room for growth and excitement. Some stories take a lighter approach to time loops, using humor and unexpected twists to entertain while exploring deeper themes. In Bill Murray Day, a character gets to relive the same day, but instead of despair, they find joy in the mundane. As they repeat the same interactions, they learn to appreciate the little things, the taste of morning coffee, the warmth of a friendly smile, and the comfort of shared laughter. In this way, the narrative reveals that even within a loop, there is beauty to be found in the everyday. The appeal of time loops lies not just in their complexity and whimsy, but also in their ability to make us question how we approach our lives. They compel us to ponder what we would choose to do if given the chance to relive certain moments. Would we change our paths, or would we embrace our experiences, good and bad? As you consider time loops, think about how they challenge our perception of time. They remind us that time is not just counting down the minutes or hours, but a fabric woven from experiences. Time can feel unyielding, yet it is the unique moments we create that bring richness into our lives. In the realm of science fiction, time travel often intersects with time loops, adding layers to the narrative. Characters may travel back to key moments, unable to alter events without severe consequences. This idea prompts us to reflect on our own timeline and the importance placed on key choices or occurrences in shaping who we are. It raises the question of destiny versus free will, making us wonder if we are the architects of our futures or simply actors playing predetermined roles. The exploration of time loops also gives rise to the concept of redemption. Throughout various narratives, characters encased in loops often seek forgiveness or redemption, revealing their humanity. The opportunity for reflection and evolution turns their struggles into a quest for personal growth, encouraging a reconnection with what truly matters. In essence, time loops serve as a canvas for storytelling, inviting us to explore human nature, relationships, and the very essence of time itself. They challenge us to view our lives with fresh eyes, to appreciate the beauty and even the most seemingly mundane moments. In a world where everything seems transient, Time loops remind us that every repetition offers a new chance for discovery, growth, and understanding. Whether through laughter or introspection, the journey through a time loop presents an opportunity to reflect on how we move through our lives, ultimately leading us to embrace the passage of time in its many forms. Imagine for a moment that every choice you make creates a new branch in the cosmos, resulting in a multitude of realities unfolding simultaneously. This idea is at the heart of the theory of parallel universes, which suggests that there are countless alternate timelines existing alongside our own. Every time a decision is made, regardless of how simple or monumental, a new universe is born, where the alternate choice is played out. This concept is popular in science fiction, but it is also grounded in serious physics, especially in quantum mechanics. Think of it like a tree. At its trunk, there is one reality. As you move along its branches, each fork represents a choice. One path leads you to one outcome, while the other takes you down a completely different route. For instance, consider a scenario where you decide whether to take a new job offer or stay in your current position. In one universe, you've taken the leap, exploring new opportunities and challenges. In another, you stay where you are, leading a familiar but different life. This creates two distinct realities, both of which exist simultaneously. One fascinating aspect of these parallel universes is how they might help reconcile some of the perplexing puzzles faced in theoretical physics, particularly those concerning quantum mechanics. At the subatomic level, particles appear to exist in multiple states at once until they are observed. This is known as superposition. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that rather than collapsing into a single state upon measurement, every possible outcome of a quantum event actually occurs in some branch of the universe. This allows for a paradox-free scenario of time travel, where visiting the past doesn't lead to paradoxes, as you simply create a new timeline with each choice made. Take, for example, the classic thought experiment of time travel. Imagine you travel back to the time of dinosaurs. If you accidentally step on a butterfly, the idea of butterfly effect suggests that this small action could lead to catastrophic changes in the future. However, under the realm of parallel universes, your action does not alter your original timeline, but rather spawns a new universe where the butterfly is no more. In your original universe, life continues as it did before. This keeps everything intact, while introducing the idea that actions have consequences in their respective realities. The notion of parallel universes also extends into the realm of what-if scenarios. Have you ever wondered what might have happened if history had played out differently? Consider a world where a critical moment in the past had a different outcome. For example, what if a particular invention was never created? Or imagine a universe where a famous artist pursued a different career. Each of these possibilities exists in its own separate timeline. Moreover, these alternate realities can help explain the concept of infinity. If each decision creates a new universe, and each universe branches off in countless directions based on new decisions, then one can conclude that the number of universes is infinite. This aligns with certain mathematical concepts, and provides a way to visualize complex ideas regarding time, space, and existence. Interestingly, the exploration of these ideas isn't purely theoretical. Some scientists are developing experiments to test the many worlds interpretation and other aspects of quantum theory. Quantum entanglement, for instance, describes particles that are linked in a way that the state of one instantly affects the other, no matter the distance between them. This phenomenon raises questions about the very fabric of reality and our understanding of the universe. In addition to scientific exploration, the concept of parallel universes has captured the imaginations of writers, filmmakers, and artists. Movies and books often explore these themes, creating rich narratives that allow audiences to visualize the wonders and complexities of these alternate realities. Shows like Rick and Morty and films such as Everything Everywhere All at Once take viewers through multiverses, each filled with unique characters and situations. As we continue to ponder the nature of reality, the exploration of parallel universes invites us to explore not only the universe around us, but also the choices we make in our own lives, and the myriad paths those choices could lead us down. It encourages a questioning spirit, pushing the boundaries of what we know and imagine possible. In a sense, this exploration helps us consider the nature of existence itself. If there are infinite realities, then it suggests that there might be alternate versions of ourselves, living out different lives based on choices we did or did not make. This idea can be both exhilarating and daunting, as it emphasizes the weight of our decisions and the infinite possibilities that life offers. So as you contemplate the universe and everything contained within it, remember that each choice, no matter how minor, could be unfolding a new story in a parallel universe. A story that may differ from our own, but exists just as vividly in its own reality. The notion of parallel universes not only broadens our understanding of physics, but also enriches our appreciation for the complexities and wonders of existence itself. Imagine a world where the boundaries of time and space are not as rigid as we once thought. In this curious realm of theoretical physics, we encounter a fascinating idea: tachyons. These are hypothetical particles that, if they exist, could travel faster than light. Before we dive deeper into the concept, let's first understand what tachyons are and why they have sparked the imaginations of physicists and science enthusiasts around the globe. In the realm of particle physics, we often discuss particles that travel at or below the speed of light. According to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, nothing with mass can reach the speed of light because it would require an infinite amount of energy. However, tachyons are envisioned as a unique exception. Unlike ordinary particles, tachyons would have an intriguing property: they would always move faster than light. This means that if they exist, they could be a gateway to some astonishing possibilities. The name tachyon comes from the Greek word tachys, meaning swift or fast. While we have not yet observed these particles in experiments, their theoretical implications have fascinated scientists. One of the most tantalizing aspects of tachyons is their relationship with time. To understand this, picture a concept known as causality, which is the principle that cause precedes effect. In our everyday experiences, we measure the flow of time based on this principle. However, with tachyons, the rules might change dramatically. If tachyons can indeed travel faster than light, they could, theoretically, lead to scenarios where effects could precede their causes. Consider the ramifications of such an idea. Imagine sending information or even messages back in time. A single tachyon could disrupt our understanding of history as we know it. It might allow a person to warn themselves about a mistake before it happens, or to change the course of certain events. Still, the concept of tachyons stretches our imagination. In the framework of modern physics, these hypothetical particles suggest that time might not be a linear experience. Instead, it could be more like a tapestry, with threads weaving in and out, where the past, present, and future are more interconnected than we might believe. This ripple through the fabric of spacetime opens doors to myriad questions and theories within the scientific community. Tachyons theoretically exist in a framework called quantum field theory. This is the theoretical foundation for particle physics and describes how particles interact with each other. According to these frameworks, if tachyons are a reality, they could potentially be detected or inferred through their interactions with other particles. Researchers have explored various mathematical models and conditions under which tachyons would burst onto the scene of physical law, though none have proven successful so far. The implications don't end with time travel. The existence of tachyons could lead to breakthroughs in our understanding of the universe itself. They might provide insights into dark matter, dark energy, or phenomena that shape the very structure of reality. In a universe where speed limits are redefined, scientists could learn how to harness tachyon-like particles for innovative technologies, potentially revolutionizing communication, transportation, and energy barriers. Beyond the realm of physics, tachyons have captured the imaginations of writers, filmmakers, and dreamers throughout history. In science fiction, they often serve as valuable plot devices. Think about your favorite shows, movies, or books, where time travel leads to extraordinary adventures. Tachyons could serve as the key to unlocking the mysteries of time, providing myriad storylines that stretch the fabric of reality and explore human experiences in new and thrilling ways. While the concept of tachyons may seem far-fetched, they serve a vital role in pushing the boundaries of what we know and encouraging our quest for deeper knowledge. The journey toward finding answers about these elusive particles prompts fundamental questions about our universe and its hidden mysteries. So next time you ponder the nature of time and the universe, think about tachyons and the extraordinary possibilities they represent. They remind us that, in the pursuit of knowledge, our imagination is just as crucial as our scientific inquiry. Embracing the idea that there may be more to reality than meets the eye excites scientists and dreamers alike, generating conversations that propel us into new dimensions of understanding. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, the exploration of tachyons invites us to chase after the unknown, to question the limits of our reality, and to consider the exciting pathways they might unveil. Who knows, perhaps one day we might discover that these mysterious, hypothetical particles hold the key to unraveling the secrets of time and space, laying down a foundation for the future of science and technology. In the realm of quantum physics, there exists a fascinating phenomenon known as quantum entanglement. This intriguing concept challenges our traditional understanding of how particles interact and connect across vast distances. Imagine two particles that have become intertwined, almost like a pair of dancers moving together in perfect harmony, regardless of the space that separates them. When something happens to one particle, its partner responds instantaneously, as if they are communicating through an unseen link. This connection is so profound that it seems to defy the very laws of nature as we know them. To give you a clearer picture, let's picture two entangled particles. You can envision them as a pair of twins who have their own unique identities, yet share an inseparable bond. If you were to perform a measurement on one twin, say checking if they are wearing a blue or a red shirt, the other twin would instantly reveal the complementary color, no matter the distance between them. If the first twin is found to be wearing blue, the second twin will always turn out to be wearing red at that exact moment. This instantaneous connection occurs even if the twins are light years apart, a phenomenon that puzzles scientists about the nature of time and space. One of the most exciting implications of quantum entanglement is its potential to revolutionize our understanding of information transfer and communication. Imagine a future where information is shared instantly across the universe, where the constraints of light speed no longer bound us. Instead of relying on traditional signals or codes, we could utilize entangled particles to send messages that are virtually unhackable and instantaneous. The possibilities here stretch our imaginations. In such a world, communication would take on a fundamentally different meaning, unshackled by distance. Delving deeper, scientists speculate about the connection between quantum entanglement and time manipulation. This speculation stems from the curious nature of entangled particles operating outside our conventional understanding of time. When we think about time, we often perceive it as a one-directional flow from past to future. However, entangled particles may suggest that events can be interconnected in more complex ways, presenting opportunities to reconsider our relationship with time itself. Consider the notion of time travel, as fanciful as it may sound. While traveling back in time remains rooted in the realm of science fiction, quantum entanglement invites us to explore the connections between different timelines. It asks us to conceive of time not merely as a straight line, but as a web of interconnected events, with entangled particles acting as threads binding these moments together. In theory, if we could manipulate these connections, we might one day gain insights into the structure of time as a whole. Imagine a scenario where our understanding of physical laws allows us to connect distant events in ways we previously deemed impossible. What if we could send information back to the past through these quantum connections? The entangled nature of particles could give rise to implications yet to be fully understood. Such revelations could revolutionize science, philosophy, and our very existence as conscious beings navigating the complexities of reality. Quantum entanglement also opens doors to a deeper understanding of the nature of reality itself. It compels us to question the boundaries that separate particles, urging us to investigate what we consider to be separate and distinct. In this view, reality might not be as fragmented as we once thought, but rather a cohesive interconnectedness of all things. Such insights could have profound effects on our perception of the universe, shifting our mindset from one of isolation to one of unity. As we continue to explore the strange world of quantum mechanics, the potential applications of entanglement on a technological level are equally thrilling. Researchers are fervently working on developing quantum computers that harness the power of entangled particles. These machines promise to unleash unprecedented computing abilities, far surpassing the capabilities of our current systems. The ability to process information through entangled states could lead to breakthroughs in cryptography, materials, science, and even our understanding of chemical reactions. The implications of quantum entanglement extend beyond technology and into ethical considerations. As we learn more about the interconnectedness of particles, we can draw parallels with societal interactions. It serves as a metaphor for the relationships we nurture in our lives. Just as entangled particles influence one another, our actions can create ripples in the fabric of life, illustrating the intricate web of connections among all beings. In essence, quantum entanglement is not only a scientific curiosity, but a concept that urges us to rethink everything we know about relationships, time, and the universe. As we venture further into this mind-bending field of study, we stand on the brink of discoveries that could reshape our understanding of the cosmos. This intimate connection between particles, transcending both distance and time, may very well hold the key to answers we have yet to ponder, inviting us to broaden our horizons as we explore the uncharted territory of existence itself. The journey of understanding quantum entanglement is only beginning, and its path is filled with mysteries waiting to be uncovered. The Grandfather Paradox is a fascinating thought experiment that dives into the complexities and contradictions of time travel. Imagine traveling back in time and meeting your grandfather before he had children. If you were to accidentally prevent him from meeting your grandmother, how could you ever exist to travel back in time in the first place? This paradox presents a logical dilemma that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and science fiction enthusiasts alike. However, while the Grandfather Paradox highlights the perplexing nature of time and causality, there are various proposed solutions that help us navigate through this conundrum. One of the most popular solutions involves the concept of alternate timelines or parallel universes. In this scenario, if someone were to travel back and change a pivotal event, instead of erasing their original timeline, a new timeline would branch off, allowing both realities to exist simultaneously. Imagine that as the time traveler interacts with the past, they create a different universe where events unfold distinctly. For instance, after inadvertently stopping their grandfather from meeting their grandmother, the time traveler simply creates a parallel reality where they do not exist, but where everything else continues as it would have. Meanwhile, the original timeline remains untouched, and the traveler continues to exist in their own reality. It's as if every action creates a fork in the road of time, leading to countless possibilities and universes branching out like a tree. The idea of parallel universes isn't merely science fiction. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that every decision creates a new universe. This concept is known as the many worlds interpretation and proposes that all possible outcomes of any event can coexist, leading to a multitude of realities diverging from our own. In practice, this means that one might travel to a universe where their grandfather did not meet their grandmother, but their original universe remains unscathed. Another way to resolve the Grandfather Paradox is the concept of self-consistent time travel. In this model, any actions taken by the time traveler in the past must already be part of history. Therefore, if the traveler goes back to prevent their grandfather from meeting their grandmother, some unforeseen event will occur that ensures they still exist. The concept suggests that events of time travel inherently lead to outcomes that maintain the traveler's existence, creating a self-consistent loop. Consider a scenario where the time traveler tries to prevent their grandparents from meeting. Perhaps instead of stopping the meeting, they inadvertently encourage it, perhaps by bumping into their grandfather and having a conversation that sparks an interest in their grandmother. The actions taken will eventually feed into the narrative of the original timeline, thus avoiding any paradox and allowing the traveler to exist fully in the future. Another interesting proposition is using a deterministic view of the universe. This perspective indicates that all events are predetermined and inherently follow the laws of physics. Here, the time traveler cannot change the past in any meaningful way, as any attempt they make is already accounted for within the timeline. The past is fixed, therefore, their journey has no effect on altering history or erasing their existence. In this situation, the time traveler plays a role within a defined narrative that cannot be altered. Additionally, a more philosophical approach emerges when considering the nature of identity and consciousness. Perhaps it can be argued that as long as the time traveler's consciousness remains intact, the originality of their existence may not rely solely on the specific genealogy of their family. Changes made in the past could lead to entirely new individuals that may not directly relate to the time traveler, but still arise from the same origin of events. This perspective widens the lens on existence, allowing room for various interpretations of self and identity. Furthermore, the idea of multiversal time travel opens up even more minds. Think of traveling through multiple dimensions, where every action doesn't just create separate timelines, but rather intertwines realities that coexist in a multitude of forms. Each decision made by the time traveler does not just lead to one alternate timeline, but influences a network of dimensions reflecting all possibilities of existence. In the realm of speculative fiction, writers often exploit these theories to create compelling narratives that play with the fabric of reality. Various films, shows, and books have grappled with time travel and paradoxes in ways that challenge viewers to rethink their perceptions of time, consequences, and the nature of reality. Each narrative serves as a reminder of the enduring human fascination with time, history, and the potential of journeys beyond the constraints of the present. The Grandfather Paradox is just one example among many discussions surrounding time travel, offering a glimpse into how thought experiments can help unravel complex ideas about existence and causality. Through various proposed resolutions, we continue to explore and reflect upon the implications of our actions, the nature of choice, and the endless possibilities hidden within the tapestry of time. What other mysteries lay waiting in the depths of our understanding, and how might we continue to unravel them? As we ponder these questions, we invite a sense of wonder and curiosity into our lives, encouraging us to contemplate the past, present, and future in interconnected harmony. In the vast expanse of the universe, few mysteries capture our imagination quite like black holes. These cosmic giants, born from the remnants of massive stars, hold a peculiar secret that has puzzled physicists and fascinated thinkers for decades: the information paradox. This paradox presents an intriguing dilemma about the fate of information that appears to vanish within black holes, intertwining ideas from physics with philosophical questions that echo through time. Imagine a black hole as a gigantic cosmic vacuum cleaner, pulling in everything that comes too close: stars, gas, and even light itself. Once an object crosses the threshold known as the event horizon, it is as if it has vanished from the universe. But this raises a captivating question. What happens to the information about that object? The laws of physics, particularly those dictated by quantum mechanics, suggest that information cannot be created or destroyed. Yet, if something enters a black hole and is no longer observable, does it mean the information contained within it is lost forever? To illustrate this paradox, consider a scenario where you have a box full of unique objects, each representing a piece of information. When you place this box into a black hole, it seems as if the box and its contents have entirely disappeared. According to classical physics, once something is inside the black hole, it becomes unrecoverable, much like writing in invisible ink that cannot be revealed again. However, this notion conflicts with the fundamental premise of quantum mechanics, which asserts that information persists throughout the universe. The tension between these two ideas gives rise to numerous questions. Are black holes mere annihilators of information, or could there be a hidden mechanism at play? Physicists have pondered whether the information could somehow be encoded on the event horizon itself, a possibility called the holographic principle. This principle suggests that the information of the black hole's contents might be stored as a two-dimensional projection on its surface, like a cosmic film that retains the story of what has entered. Veteran physicist Stephen Hawking, who originally proposed black holes could emit radiation, a phenomenon now known as Hawking radiation, further stirred the pot of controversy surrounding the information paradox. When black holes emit this radiation, they slowly lose mass and could eventually evaporate completely, leaving behind the question of what happens to the information they held. If a black hole completely evaporates, where does that information go? Hawking's insights ignited debates and encouraged a variety of theories, which include the intriguing notion that information might escape in some warped, entangled way. Parallel to the narrative of time travel, where characters navigate temporal loops and face consequences of their actions across timelines, the black hole information paradox leads us to ponder the fabric of reality itself. Just as time paradoxes raise questions about causality and the consequences of choices, the fate of information in black holes invites us to consider how everything is interconnected within our universe. Can something that appears lost truly be irretrievable, or is it merely held in a form we do not yet understand? As scientists delve deeper into the nature of black holes and their workings, concepts like string theory, loop quantum gravity, and other advanced theories emerge in the landscape of cosmology. These theories attempt to unravel the mysteries surrounding the quantum realm, shedding light on how gravity and quantum mechanics intertwine, and providing insights into the information paradox's complexities. The black hole information paradox encourages profound contemplation about reality. It leads us to reflect on how we understand knowledge and existence itself. Are we mere observers in a vast universe, or do we play an integral role in determining the fate of the information that we encounter? Could the very act of observation bend the rules, allowing us to glimpse the hidden nature of black holes? These questions remind us that even when faced with mysteries that stretch our understanding of physics, The universe remains a realm of endless curiosity and wonder. As we continue to explore these enigmas, we delve into realms that challenge our perceptions of time, space, and reality. The narrative of black holes serves not only as a scientific quandary, but also as a metaphor for the pursuit of knowledge itself. In striving to unlock the secrets of the cosmos, we engage with questions that have persisted throughout human history, questions about connection, existence, and the very nature of the universe we inhabit. Black holes and the information paradox are but reflections of our quest for understanding in a complex, intertwined reality. They remind us that, although some knowledge remains just out of reach, our pursuit is what drives us to explore the unknown. Just as in time paradox tales where characters navigate choices and consequences, the journey of discovery leads us down paths filled with wonder and insight, bringing us closer to the heart of the mysteries that lie beyond the horizon of our understanding. The allure of these enigmas continues to inspire, guiding us through the ever-expanding universe of thought and exploration. Imagine a tunnel that connects two faraway points in space and time, allowing you to traverse vast distances or even journey into different eras or alternate realities. This concept, known as a wormhole, intrigues scientists and dreamers alike. A wormhole is a theoretical passageway through spacetime, predicted by the theory of general relativity, which was developed by Albert Einstein in the early 20th century. This theory revolutionized our understanding of gravity, suggesting that massive objects like stars and planets warp the fabric of spacetime around them. To visualize a wormhole, think of spacetime as a two-dimensional sheet of paper. If you fold that sheet so that two distant points touch, you create a direct path, the wormhole, between these points. Instead of traveling across the entire sheet, you can simply enter the wormhole and emerge at the other end almost instantaneously. This elegant idea opens the door to discussions about time travel and parallel universes. The concept of wormholes poses fascinating questions. If they exist, could we use them to travel to the past or future? Picture visiting ancient civilizations or witnessing key moments in history. Yet accessing these experiences also raises an array of paradoxes. For instance, if you traveled back in time and altered an event, what repercussions would arise? Would your own existence be affected? The potential for traversing to alternate universes is equally captivating. Some theories suggest that there could be multiple realities coexisting alongside our own universes with slight variations on the events in our world. Instead of following the same timeline, you might find a version of Earth where dinosaurs never went extinct, or where technology advanced at a different rate. Each decision you make could branch off into a new universe, resulting in a multitude of possible outcomes. A wormhole could offer a pathway to explore these alternate realities, enabling profound adventures through the multiverse. Theoretical physicists have proposed various models of wormholes, often citing the work of scientists like Kip Thorne and Michael Morris. They theorized the existence of Einstein-Rosen Bridges, which are types of wormholes that might connect two black holes. While such bridges remain hypothetical and purely mathematical, scientists have not ruled out their existence in the vast cosmos. Current research in quantum physics may shed light on these phenomena, perhaps providing tangible evidence. Despite the allure of wormholes, navigating through one is not without its challenges. Most theories suggest that for a wormhole to be stable enough to be traversed, it would require exotic matter with negative energy density. This means material that behaves contrary to the matter we are familiar with, which creates instability under normal conditions. Although exotic matter has yet to be found, scientists continue to explore its possibilities, hoping to uncover the secrets of the universe. There's also the question of how a wormhole would feel to traverse. Would it be a smooth journey or a wild ride? Some scientists liken the experience to being stretched through a cosmic straw, pushing you through a narrow pathway at incredible speeds. The very act of entering a wormhole could expose your body to extreme gravitational forces. The significance of these forces emphasizes that, should wormholes exist, they may not be traversable in the way we see in popular science fiction. Fictional accounts of wormholes abound, often depicting them as portals that characters use to travel effortlessly between timelines or worlds. In movies and books, we witness exciting narratives of exploration and adventure, but there are also deeply philosophical implications to consider. By pondering the existence of wormholes, we confront questions of destiny, free will, and our place in the universe. If alternate versions of ourselves exist, we're led to wonder about the choices we make and the lives we lead. The fascination with wormholes has not only captured the attention of scientists, but also that of storytellers, inspiring countless tales in literature and cinema. These creative expressions compel us to imagine a world where we can bridge the gaps of time and space, transforming the impossible into something tantalizingly accessible. As we embrace the mysteries of the cosmos, the idea of wormholes invites us to expand our understanding of reality, whether they remain a theoretical construct or one day become a practical gateway. They challenge us to dream about the infinite possibilities of the universe. What if you could peek into the future or revisit a moment from your past? The implications of wormholes may ignite your imagination and inspire awe as you contemplate the nature of existence itself. The journey of discovery surrounding wormholes may ultimately lead us to uncover secrets that lie hidden beyond the stars. In essence, the exploration of wormholes invigorates our quest for knowledge. As we delve into scientific explorations and imaginative exchanges, the potential of these cosmic phenomena offers a boundless horizon of thought and discovery, urging us to transcend our current understanding of the universe. The universe may hold secrets inconceivable at this moment, and might encourage us to explore the unknown in search of answers that lie beyond the fabric of space-time itself. Imagine a world where time isn't a straight line, but rather a complex web of events, each influencing the others in a captivating dance of cause and effect. This is the essence of the temporal causality loop, a fascinating concept that challenges our traditional understanding of time. In simple terms, a temporal causality loop occurs when an event is both a cause and an effect within the same timeline, creating a circular sequence of events. Let's take a moment to visualize this. Imagine you receive a mysterious letter one day. When you open it, you find a message from your future self, instructing you to perform a specific task. As you follow the instructions, you inadvertently create the very circumstances that lead to writing that initial letter years down the line. In this scenario, your future self inspires the actions that ensure the letter exists in the first place. This is a classic illustration of a causal loop, an event that exists because it was caused by its own future outcome. The concept of the temporal causality loop isn't just fiction, it stretches into the realms of philosophy and physics as well. In these disciplines, the idea pushes us to question our understanding of time itself. If causality can loop back on itself, does that mean our perception of a linear progression of time is flawed? Typically, we view time as a straight path from the past to the present, leading into the future. However, the temporal causality loop offers a window into a more complex temporal landscape where events can intertwine and influence each other in unexpected ways. Consider the famous example from popular culture, such as the story of a time traveler who goes back in time to prevent a significant disaster. Yet, in their attempt, they inadvertently become the cause of that very disaster. The butterfly effect encapsulates this idea beautifully. A slight change in one event can lead to monumental differences in the outcome of future events. The same principle applies to the temporal causality loop, highlighting how interconnected our actions can be across time. This concept has long intrigued scientists and philosophers alike. It raises profound questions about free will, fate, and the very nature of reality. If our future selves can influence our present, do we truly have control over our choices? Or are we simply playing roles in a predetermined narrative? These questions swirl around the idea of predestination versus free agency, creating a tension that scholars have grappled with for centuries. Artists and storytellers have taken inspiration from temporal causality loops, incorporating them into their narratives to explore deeper themes of existence and time. Films like Predestination and Looper dive into these intricate plots, weaving tales of characters caught in a web of their own making, unable to escape the consequences of their actions. Through these stories, we are encouraged to think about how our choices echo through time and shape our reality. Exploring temporal causality loops can also lead us to consider how our memories and actions influence our identities. Our past experiences color our perceptions of the present and shape our hopes for the future. By viewing our lives as a swirling continuum of events rather than a chronological list, we begin to appreciate the rich tapestry of our existence. This narrative perspective allows us to see how moments from our past can come back to inform our decisions today, often without us realizing it. Even in the realm of science, theories surrounding the nature of time and causality are ever evolving. Physicists delve into the fabric of space-time, exploring concepts like wormholes and time travel, which may, in theory, produce such loops. The mathematics involved can be incredibly complex, but at their core, they echo the fundamental idea that time is not just a sequence of events, but a multidimensional construct. The implications of such ideas stretch far beyond mere theoretical discourse. They invite us to reflect upon our understanding of existence and the interrelatedness of our experiences. With this lens, one may view their life as a dynamic flow of cause and effect, where each moment impacts the next in a vast and intricate design. Embracing this perspective can inspire us to act thoughtfully, recognizing that each choice resonates not just in our own lives, but potentially throughout time itself. Ultimately, the temporal causality loop invites us to contemplate the nature of time, action, and consequence in profound ways. By reflecting on how events can influence one another across time, we gain insight into the complexity of our lives and the universe at large. This interplay of cause and effect beckons us to explore deeper truths about our existence, prompting us to wonder about the delicate threads that weave the fabric of our reality. Embracing this complexity can reveal a newfound appreciation for the interconnectedness of our experiences, reminding us that every moment is a precious part of a grander narrative. Backwards causation is a fascinating and thought-provoking concept in philosophy and science that challenges our conventional understanding of time and the sequence of events. Normally, we perceive time as a linear progression where causes lead to effects. We flip a switch, and a light turns on, a seed is planted, and a flower blooms. Events happen in a specific order, cause followed by effect. However, the idea of backwards causation suggests that effects could sometimes occur before their causes, leading to a radical reinterpretation of how we perceive time's flow. To explore this idea, let's consider a popular example often cited in discussions about causation. Imagine a situation where someone has just shown you a photo of an event, such as a fireworks display. Upon seeing the image, you suddenly have a powerful emotional reaction, recalling the joy and excitement of witnessing the colorful bursts of light in the night sky. In this scenario, the effect, your emotional reaction, comes directly after viewing the photograph rather than after seeing the fireworks in person. Yet, could there be a different angle to consider? What if seeing the photograph actually prompted a desire to create a memory of that event even before it originally took place? This presents a playful but intriguing speculation about experiencing moments from the future affecting our current state, much like how we remember the past. Are there times when our knowledge or awareness of future events alters our perceptions or actions in the present? Another way to think about backwards causation comes from the realm of quantum physics. When delving into the behavior of particles at the subatomic level, a world emerges where traditional ideas of time and causality often do not hold. Certain interpretations of quantum mechanics propose that what we observe today can be influenced by our measurements taken in the future. This suggests that under some circumstances, the future might have a direct impact on the past, creating a scenario where cause and effect are not limited to a straightforward order. Think of time as a river. Usually it flows in a single direction, from source to mouth. But what if there are hidden currents that allow ripples to travel upstream, influencing the path of the river in unforeseen ways? By examining these possibilities, we begin to see intricacies within the structure of time itself. Exploring the implications of backwards causation can also lead us into the realm of free will and determinism. If effects can precede causes, does that mean our choices are predetermined by events that haven't yet occurred? This presents a philosophical puzzle about control and intention. If our decisions are influenced by outcomes that have not yet happened, does that mean we are merely participants in a play already written? Or do we retain the power to change the script with our choices? Consider the notion of fate intertwined with personal endeavors. An artist, for example, might create a piece of art that intuitively reflects feelings or experiences they have yet to encounter. The emotion embodied in that artwork seems to resonate with a future experience of theirs. In a sense, the piece of art exists as a cause that transforms their future feelings even before those feelings are realized. Literature and storytelling often engage with these themes too. Time travel narratives frequently feature characters visiting the past that influences the trajectory of events in unexpected ways. Each action shapes not only their past experiences, but also the future itself. Here, Backwards causation serves as a narrative device that grants writers the freedom to stretch the fabric of time and play with fate's design. A concept closely related to backwards causation is the idea of retrocausality, which posits that effects can occur before their corresponding causes, suggesting a more complex causal structure exists within our universe. In this view, the sequence of events can become more fluid, adding depth and richness to our understanding of reality. One interesting philosophical implication is that backward causation could potentially allow for a different view on responsibility and ethics. If actions can be influenced by outcomes that haven't occurred yet, it raises questions about accountability. For example, if someone acts based on a belief about a future outcome that changes later, to what extent are they responsible for their actions based on information that was, at the time, true? Some scientific theories related to the fabric of the universe hint at a non-linear concept of time. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics implies that every possible outcome of an event creates branching timelines, each influenced by decisions made across different paths. In such a cosmic scenario, backwards causation could manifest as a thread weaving through these timelines, tying impacts of future choices to present circumstances in a complex web of possibilities. This journey into the nature of time invites us not only to reconsider how we understand causality and events occurring in our lives, but also to wonder about the universe's profound mysteries. Backwards causation, while a puzzling and abstract concept, ultimately encourages exploration beyond our ordinary perceptions of time and existence. It opens doors to new understandings about the interplay between moments, emphasizing that our experiences may be interconnected in far more intricate patterns than we realize. In embracing this intriguing idea, we challenge ourselves to think differently about time, existence, and our role in a universe that may just be more wondrous than we ever imagined. So as we contemplate our journey through time, let's remain open to the possibilities that lay hidden in the depths of causality, inviting curiosity into the mysteries we have yet to uncover. Imagine a realm where the very fabric of time is not a linear path, but a vibrant tapestry woven from the delicate threads of quantum particles. In the world of quantum mechanics, things behave in astonishing ways that often defy our everyday understanding. One of the most captivating concepts emerging from this quantum playground is the idea of time travel. The implications of this idea can twist the mind into knots, especially when intertwined with the peculiar properties of quantum particles. To begin exploring quantum time travel, let us first consider the peculiar nature of quantum particles themselves. In the quantum world, particles like electrons and photons can exist in multiple states at once. This phenomenon, known as superposition, allows these particles to be in several places simultaneously until they are observed or measured. Imagine a spinning coin, where it exists in a state of both heads and tails until someone catches it and decides its fate. This mysterious behavior suggests that our conventional understanding of time and space can be far more fluid than we ever realized. Now, let's delve into a key aspect of quantum mechanics: entanglement. When two particles become entangled, the state of one particle is linked to the state of another, no matter how far apart they are. Albert Einstein famously referred to this as spooky action at a distance. If we consider this strange connection, could it lead to new possibilities in time? What if certain particles could interact across different points in time, creating ripples in the continuum of events? This tantalizing possibility raises questions about the nature of causality and the sequence of events in our lives. Quantum time travel also brings forth a plethora of paradoxes that challenge our intuitive understanding of reality. One famous example is the grandfather paradox. Imagine someone traveling back in time and inadvertently preventing their grandfather from meeting their grandmother. If the grandfather never married, the time traveler would never have been born, thus creating a loop of contradictions. How can one exist if their very existence prevents their birth? This paradox illustrates the complexities that arise when considering the implications of time travel within the realm of quantum particles. However, theorists are not deterred by these mind-bending puzzles. Instead, they propose various solutions to reconcile these paradoxes. One approach is the many-worlds interpretation, which suggests that every time a quantum event occurs, the universe splits into multiple branches. This means that if a time traveler alters an event, they are creating an entirely new timeline that coexists alongside the original one. In this scenario, the original timeline remains intact, allowing for endless variations of reality, each with its own sequence of events. Let's also consider the role of wormholes in quantum time travel. Wormholes, theoretical passages through space-time, could connect distant points in the universe or even different times. Picture a tunnel that links two separate locations in the vast expanse of the cosmos. If quantum particles could navigate through these tunnels, they might successfully traverse time as we understand it. Although currently speculative, this concept has intrigued scientists and physicists alike, encouraging them to contemplate the uncharted possibilities of time and space. Now, visualizing all these ideas can feel overwhelming, but let's bring it down to simpler terms. Think of a movie reel where every frame represents a unique moment in time. In the quantum realm, it's as if you could rewind, fast forward, or even re-edit those frames effortlessly. What would it mean for the decisions we make if we could explore the outcomes of different choices without facing the consequences? It opens a door to endless scenarios, and as fascinating as it may be, it also invites deeper reflection on our existence and choices. As our understanding of quantum mechanics continues to unfold, scientists are gaining insights that may one day unlock secrets of the universe. The idea of time travel through quantum particles may seem like science fiction today, but it forces us to reconsider our perception of reality. It encourages us to explore the boundaries of what we think is possible, and leads to profound questions about existence and the nature of time itself. In summary, the hypothetical concept of quantum time travel invites us into an extraordinary dialogue about the nature of reality, causality, and the universe's mysteries. The strange behavior of quantum particles opens up discussions about paradoxes that challenge our understanding, while theories like the many worlds interpretation provide intriguing resolutions. As we stand at the precipice of scientific discovery, who knows what fascinating revelations about time and reality await us in the quantum realm? Each new finding could potentially reshape our comprehension not only of the universe but of our place within it, reminding us that in the world of quantum mechanics, the impossible just might be possible. Imagine a universe where time bends and twists back upon itself, a concept known as closed time-like curves. These fascinating structures exist within the framework of the theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein. To grasp this idea, picture space-time as a fabric woven together by the threads of time and space. In our everyday experience, we journey through time in a straightforward manner. We move from the past, through the present, and into the future. However, closed time-like curves offer a different perspective, a looping pathway that connects different points in time. It theoretically allows an object to return to its starting point, creating a potential scenario for time travel. Let's visualize this with a simple analogy. Think of a piece of paper that represents our timeline. If you draw a straight line from one side to the other, it symbolizes a linear progression of time. But what if you fold that paper in such a way that the two edges touch? Now, instead of a straight journey, you could take a brief hop and find yourself back at the beginning. This folded structure encapsulates the essence of closed, time-like curves. One of the most compelling theoretical examples of closed, time-like curves is the concept of a rotating black hole, known as a Kerr black hole. Black holes are regions in space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. In the case of a rotating black hole, the extreme gravitational forces and the spinning motion can create paths through spacetime that loop back on themselves. It's as though the very fabric of reality is being twisted, allowing for potential travel to earlier moments in time. However, it's important to note that these concepts remain firmly in the realm of theoretical physics. Scientists have not yet observed a practical way to navigate a closed, time-like curve, and the implications of such travel raise intriguing questions. For instance, if one were to return to the past, could they interact with their former self? What consequences could arise from altering past events? These paradoxes, such as the famous grandfather paradox, occur when actions taken in the past could prevent one's own existence in the future. Envision a scenario where someone travels back to an earlier time and inadvertently prevents their grandparents from meeting. If that happens, they would never be born to embark on that journey in the first place. This playful contradiction challenges our understanding of causality and propels us into deep philosophical territory. Can one change history, or is every event predetermined? Another fascinating aspect of closed time-like curves is their relationship with time dilation, which is an effect of Einstein's theory of relativity. When moving at speeds close to that of light, or being in a strong gravitational field, time can pass differently for those in varying frames of reference. This suggests that while one person might experience time normally, another could be dealing with a vastly different passage of time. It opens up vivid possibilities of experiencing reality in fundamentally different ways. Now, imagine an astronaut traveling near a massive spinning black hole. As they circle the black hole along a closed, time-like curve, they could experience time's flow differently compared to an observer far from such extremes. The astronaut might venture into the past or observe the unfolding of events while remaining in a moment suspended in time. Moreover, hypothesizing about closed time-like curves allows us to explore concepts surrounding the fundamental nature of time itself. Is time a linear progression, or is it more intricate, incorporating loops and cycles? Some scientists propose that timelines may be interconnected in ways we have yet to fully understand. Each decision we make could create diverging paths, perhaps even its own closed time-like curves. As we ponder these theoretical pathways, we cannot overlook the breathtaking beauty and complexity they bring to our understanding of the universe. The idea of closed, time-like curves invites us to dream of what could be possible if we unlock the mysteries of space-time. It encourages us to ask questions that extend beyond the limits of current science, pushing the boundaries of what we deem possible. The captivating dance of theoretical physics challenges us, sparking our imagination and curiosity. As we contemplate closed, time-like curves, we venture not just into mathematical models, but into realms where science fiction can blur with scientific possibility. The notion of time travel, once a fantasy in stories, stirs our passions for exploration and discovery. While we may not have the technological capability to traverse these intricate curves just yet, the very contemplation of their existence enriches our understanding of the universe. It compels us to look beyond the surface, to question the fabric of reality itself, and to delight in the marvels that the cosmos holds. For every line we draw on the paper of space-time, we ignite a sense of wonder and a thirst for knowledge about the very nature of the universe. Although it might seem distant, the exploration of closed, time-like curves encourages us to engage with the forces that shape our existence, inspiring future generations to unlock the mysteries of time and space and the possibilities they might hold. Time is a fascinating and complex concept that governs our everyday lives, but have you ever pondered the nature of time itself? One intriguing idea to explore is the arrow of time, which suggests that time flows in a specific direction, from the past to the future. This notion is not just a philosophical musing. It has vital implications in physics, particularly when we delve into time paradoxes and the nature of reality. To understand the arrow of time, we need to consider the difference between the two types of physical phenomena, reversible and irreversible processes. In a reversible process, you can easily go back to the original state after it has changed. Think of a simple game of pool. When you hit the balls, they scatter and move around the table. However, if you were to rewind time, you could see the balls come back together in their original formation. In contrast, irreversible processes cannot simply be reversed. Imagine cracking an egg into a bowl. No matter how much you want to, you cannot magically undo this action and return the egg to its shell. The very act of breaking the egg sets into motion a series of events that cannot be reversed. This is where the arrow of time becomes particularly poignant. One of the strongest indicators of the arrow of time is the second law of thermodynamics, which states that the total entropy, or disorder, of a closed system can only increase over time. Consider a room filled with perfume. When you initially spray the scent, the molecules are concentrated in one area. As time passes, these molecules spread out, creating a uniform scent throughout the room. This increase in disorder demonstrates the flow of time from a state of order to disorder. In essence, our universe naturally trends toward greater entropy, reinforcing the forward motion of time. Now, let's consider the implications of the arrow of time on our understanding of the universe. The universe began in a highly ordered state during the Big Bang, which marked the beginning of time as we know it. From that precise moment, the universe has been expanding and evolving, leading to increasingly complex systems. Stars have formed, planets have emerged, and life has evolved, all following the path laid out by the arrow of time. As we discuss time travel within the context of the arrow of time, it becomes evident why this concept is paramount in contemplating the paradoxes that arise. For instance, one popular time travel paradox is known as the grandfather paradox. Imagine you, as a time traveler, go back in time and accidentally prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. This raises the question, If your grandfather never meets your grandmother, how do you exist to travel back in time in the first place? It's a convoluted loop that challenges our understanding of causality and the direction of time. If time were merely a loop without a definitive forward direction, such paradoxes might not manifest in the same perplexing manner. Another aspect to consider is the psychological perception of time, often influenced by our experiences and memories. When we think back on cherished moments, they are often crystal clear in our minds, while irrelevant daily tasks may fade away over time. This experience of time passing can feel subjective, driven by the intensity of moments rather than the actual measurement of seconds and minutes. As we relish the beauty of life, the arrow of time further solidifies our understanding that its flow is constant, regardless of how we perceive it. In recent years, scientists and philosophers have speculated whether our understanding of time is entirely accurate, or if there could be more dimensions to it. Some theoretical physicists have proposed that time might not be linear, but instead exists simultaneously in various configurations. While these ideas are incredibly fascinating and challenge our existing beliefs, they often remain on the periphery of mainstream understanding. For most of us, the arrow of time serves as a practical way to interact with our environment and comprehend our existence. So, as we reflect on the arrow of time, it beckons us to contemplate not only the nature of the universe, but also our own experiences. It acts as a reminder that every moment we live is intricately connected, with the past defining who we are today while the future remains undefined, waiting to be shaped by our actions and choices. Each tick of the clock is not simply a passage of time. Rather, it is a thread woven into the fabric of reality. Understanding this flow of time can lead to a greater appreciation of the unique moments we encounter along the way. Time, in its complex and layered nature, is part of the human experience. The arrow of time serves as a guiding principle, providing clarity amidst the chaos and ambiguity. So the next time you feel the rush of life or the weight of past decisions, remember that every second represents a step forward, a movement through the universe, painting the canvas of your own story. As you journey along this directional timeline, may you find peace and inspiration, cherishing the remarkable journey of existence. Imagine a time traveler steps into a sleek machine, programmed to whisk them back to a pivotal moment in history. The excitement is palpable. They have a mission, to meet their grandfather before their own parent is born. This scenario perfectly encapsulates the grandfather paradox, a thought experiment that raises questions about the very nature of time and causality. Now, let's dive into this paradox. If our time traveler meets their grandfather and somehow prevents him from meeting their grandmother, perhaps by causing a misunderstanding or even an accidental injury, the time traveler's parent would never be born. If the parent never exists, then the time traveler could never be born either. This creates a conundrum. Who is in the time machine at all if they have never existed? This circular timeline gives birth to many intriguing scenarios. One possible outcome involves the idea of branching timelines. In this theory, when the time traveler interferes, they don't alter their original timeline but create a new branch of reality. In this new timeline, their grandfather indeed never meets their grandmother, leading to a completely different lineage. The time traveler returns to their original timeline, unaware that they now exist in a different reality, where their actions have had significant effects. The original timeline remains unchanged, allowing for the existence of the original time traveler. In essence, they create an alternate universe as a result of their actions. Another entertaining spin on this paradox explores the possibility of self-correction in timelines. Imagine the time traveler arrives and tries to intervene, but something prevents them from successfully altering the course of history. Perhaps a series of unforeseen events, coincidences, or even a friendly warning from the elder version of themselves stops the time traveler from making that crucial change. The universe, it seems, has a way of ensuring continuity, with events unfolding in such a manner that the original timeline remains intact. This concept encourages the idea that destiny or fate may govern time, ensuring that significant events happen as they should. Then there's the rather amusing scenario where the time traveler does indeed meet their grandfather and, through a series of events, becomes the very reason their grandfather was inspired to meet their grandmother. Maybe, after meeting the time traveler and hearing incredible tales of the future, the grandfather is motivated to take certain steps in life he might not have taken without that inspiration. This effectively returns the time traveler to a state of existence, despite their initial intervention. It shows the delicate interplay between cause and effect, and how the influence of a future generation might reshape the past in unpredictable ways. Let's also examine a darker interpretation where the time traveler succeeds in preventing their grandparents from meeting, leading to unforeseen consequences in the fabric of existence. As a result, they navigate a world where critical historical events have faltered, leading to a reality plagued by chaos or despair. The time traveler may find themselves in a dystopia, hoping to find a way back to their original timeline, a timeline they never fully realized was valuable until it was altered forever. The exploration of the grandfather paradox not only provokes thought about time travel, but also invites us to reflect on our own lives. What if our choices could alter our paths in ways we cannot foresee? Each decision we make, big or small, might create ripples influencing not just our own lives, but also the destinies of others. As our world continues to be enveloped in new technological advancements, who knows what the future holds for time travel? Most consider it wrapped in the realm of science fiction, yet many are fascinated by the implications of how a casual stroll into the past can yield earth-shattering effects on the present. As we wrestle with these paradoxes, it's crucial to engage with them in a creative and imaginative way. In doing so, we unlock new narratives, theories, and understandings about causality and the threads that tie us together through time. They are not just fodder for storytellers, but invaluable lessons reminding us of the interconnectedness of our actions and the butterfly effect. So the next time you consider the concept of time travel, think of the grandfather paradox and the myriad of possibilities it unfolds. Each narrative invites deep exploration, unraveling the delicate threads of time, responsibility, and existence, while signaling to us the beauty of continuity, destiny, and perhaps an alternate view of our very reality. Imagine a vast, intricate tapestry where each thread interweaves with countless others, creating a complex design that defies simplicity. This visual representation can help us understand the concept of nonlinear time. Instead of thinking of time as a straight line moving from past to future, let us explore the idea that time may be more like a multidimensional web, rich with connections and intersections. In many cultures, time is often viewed as a linear progression. We move from day to night, from one event to the next, marking our lives with moments that seem to queue up in a straight path. We celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and milestones in a manner that reinforces this linearity. However, what if time behaves differently than we perceive? What if, instead of a sequence, it was more like a complex network of possibilities? Consider how we experience memories. Often, a particular event from our past sparks a cascade of recollections. Faces, places, and feelings come rushing back, seemingly without order. Perhaps you recall the first time you rode a bike. The simple thrill of balancing on two wheels may bring to mind your childhood home, the laughter of friends, and a warm summer day. This interconnectedness suggests that our perception of time transcends a continuous line. Instead, it reveals a rich tapestry of experiences that overlap, influence one another, and point us to different directions. Science also offers fascinating insights into this nonlinear concept. Some theories in physics propose that time is not a single dimension, but rather a complex framework that can bend and fold like a piece of fabric. The theory of relativity, for instance, tells us that time can warp depending on speed and gravity. When we observe celestial bodies in space, we find instances that challenge our conventional understanding. Take black holes, for example. The immense gravitational force they exert allows for a unique distortion of time. Anyone falling into a black hole would experience time differently than someone watching from a distance. In this cosmic dance, time can stretch, compress, and perhaps even loop back upon itself. Think about dreams too. When we traverse the landscapes of our subconscious in sleep, we may find ourselves hopping between different times and places in ways that defy the rules of our waking world. A fleeting moment can feel like an eternity, and seemingly unrelated scenes effortlessly blend together. This fluidity captures the essence of nonlinear time. It reminds us that our minds often navigate through possibilities and memories in ways that a fixed timeline cannot contain. Furthermore, literature and storytelling often challenge linearity. Consider how a nonlinear narrative unfolds in a novel or film, where the story jumps between past and present, weaving through the lives of various characters. Isabel Allende, for example, uses this technique in her work, allowing readers to experience pivotal moments from multiple perspectives. This non-sequential delivery can intensify the connection to characters and themes, creating a rich emotional experience that resonates long after the journey ends. In the realm of quantum physics, we encounter intriguing hypotheses that align with the idea of non-linear time. The many worlds interpretation posits that every choice we make spawns an alternate reality. Each decision creates a branching path where different outcomes coexist, much like a tree expanding in various directions. This suggests that time is not merely a single route, but rather a branching network filled with potentialities, each existing simultaneously in a vast universe of possibilities. In exploring this concept further, individuals can reflect on their life paths. Consider the decisions that unexpectedly altered your course. A chance encounter with a friend, an impromptu event, or an unexpected opportunity may send you spiraling into new adventures. These moments serve to highlight that our experiences don't merely align on a continuum, but instead can intersect and influence one another in profound ways. The choices we make are not isolated. They create ripples that extend into different moments and experiences, forming connections within the tapestry of our lives. As you venture through your own thoughts and experiences, consider how they reflect the essence of non-linear time. Recall how certain events in your life carried echoes, leading you to think about past decisions or guiding you toward future aspirations. This interconnectedness reveals a deeper understanding of our existence, where each moment is a thread contributing to a grander design. Ultimately, the notion of non-linear time opens up a world of possibilities. It encourages us to think beyond ordinary constraints and to embrace the intricate patterns that define our lives. Each moment, each memory, and each decision is a vital part of the tapestry that we collectively weave. In this understanding, we find resonance not only with our individual stories, but also with the shared experiences of humanity. The web of time invites us to appreciate the complexity of our journeys, celebrating the multitude of paths that life can take while allowing us to cherish the connections that bring us together. Time travel is a fascinating concept that has captured the imagination of writers and filmmakers for centuries. The ability to journey through time opens up endless possibilities for storytelling, allowing creators to explore complex themes of fate, free will, and the consequences of our actions. In fiction, time travel is often portrayed through various lenses, raising intriguing questions and inviting audiences to ponder the nature of time itself. One of the most compelling aspects of time travel in fiction is the paradoxes it creates. These paradoxes challenge our understanding of reality and the linear progression of time. The grandfather paradox is one of the most well-known examples. Imagine traveling back in time and accidentally preventing your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. If he never meets her, your parent is never born, which means you could never exist to travel back in time in the first place. This mind-bending scenario raises eyebrows and sparks discussions about causality and the ripple effects our actions can have on the timeline. In literature, H.G. Wells' seminal work, The Time Machine, introduced readers to the concept of time as a fourth dimension. The story captures a Victorian man's journey into the distant future, where he confronts the consequences of humanity's advancements and societal choices. Wells' narrative illustrates the potential dangers of neglecting the present while pondering the future, emphasizing the idea that time travel is not just an adventure, but a reflection of our choices. In cinema, movies like Back to the Future showcase time travel in a more lighthearted way, yet still grapple with serious implications. For instance, the protagonist, Marty McFly, inadvertently alters the past, leading to unforeseen consequences in his present. This blend of humor and drama serves to engage viewers, while also encouraging them to think about how small decisions can have significant impacts on life's trajectory. The cultural resonance of this film reflects a common fascination with the what-if scenarios that time travel presents, illustrating our desire to understand how our choices shape our destinies. The movie Interstellar takes a different approach to explore time travel. It delves into the scientific theories surrounding time dilation and the effect it has on human relationships. As characters experience time differently due to their proximity to a black hole, the film beautifully articulates the emotional toll that time can take on love and sacrifice. Through this lens, time is not merely a linear path, but a complex, intertwined web of experiences and emotions that shift with each decision made along the way. As discussions surrounding time travel continue in contemporary culture, new narratives emerge that challenge traditional concepts. The multiverse theory suggests that every choice creates alternate timelines, leading to an infinite number of realities. Movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once explore this notion of multiple universes, illustrating how different versions of ourselves exist in parallel realities, each shaped by our choices. This concept not only captivates audiences, but also prompts deeper philosophical inquiries about identity and the implications of our decisions. The exploration of time travel in fiction has also influenced cultural understanding in various ways. As stories unfold across different timelines and dimensions, they often serve as a reflection of societal values and anxieties. For instance, in the face of rapid technological advancements, narratives centered around time travel often highlight the consequences of innovation. Themes of ecological disaster, societal decay, or the loss of human connection frequently surface, encouraging audiences to consider the trajectory of their own world and the choices we make today. Moreover, time travel narratives often serve as a lens through which creators explore personal and collective histories. By revisiting pivotal moments in time, characters grapple with their pasts and confront the ghosts of their decisions. This exploration allows readers and viewers to reflect on their own experiences and the weight of history, fostering a deeper understanding of how our past shapes our present identities. Through the lens of time travel, fiction often challenges conventional understandings of time as an absolute and linear construct. Instead, it invites audiences to see time as fluid, shaped by choices, emotions, and interconnected fates. As stories continue to unfold across genres, the allure of time travel remains not only a source of entertainment, but also a profound exploration of human nature and the implications of our existence. In the end, time travel remains an enthralling subject that transcends various mediums, from literature to films. As we engage with these narratives, we become part of an ongoing conversation about our relationship with time, choice, and consequence. Each story serves as a reminder that every moment is a step along our journey, offering us the chance to contemplate what has been, what is, and what could be. Through these compelling explorations, the concept of time travel allows us not only to dream of adventures across centuries, but also to connect more deeply with our own lives and the world around us. Imagine you are standing on a train as it moves swiftly along the tracks. Inside the train, a friend is sitting at the other end of the carriage. You see your friend and wave to them. At the same time, you notice a light flash at both the front and back of the train. Now think about what you perceive versus what an observer standing on the ground outside the moving train sees. This scenario offers a fascinating insight into one of the most intriguing aspects of physics, the relativity of simultaneity. The concept of simultaneity tells us that different observers can disagree about whether events occur at the same time. This idea stems from Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, which fundamentally changed our understanding of space and time. According to Einstein, time is not an absolute entity, but instead is intertwined with space, forming what we now refer to as spacetime. This means that the way we experience events can vary dramatically depending on our relative motion. Consider two observers, Jack on the train and Emily standing by the tracks. From Jack's perspective, he perceives the light flashes at the same time, assuming both flashes occur simultaneously. However, because the train is moving, Emily does not perceive the same thing. From her viewpoint, the light flash at the front of the train reaches her before the flash at the back, because the train is moving toward the light traveling forward. This discrepancy leads to an astonishing conclusion. Jack and Emily witness different sequences of events based on their relative positions and velocities. This phenomenon raises vital questions about our perception of time. For example, how do we determine the order of events? Is there an absolute time that governs all events, or is time different for each observer? Einstein's theories showed that time is relative and can change depending on how fast you are moving. As speeds approach that of light, time dilation occurs, adding complexity to our understanding of simultaneity. To illustrate this further, think of two lightning strikes hitting a railroad track at either end. An observer standing midway on the ground sees both strikes happen at exactly the same moment. However, a person moving towards one of the strikes will see it occur sooner than the other. Thus, simultaneous events are not universal. They vary based on the observer's frame of reference. This concept also has practical implications that affect technology and daily life. For instance, the Global Positioning System, or GPS, relies on precise timing signals sent from satellites orbiting our planet. Due to the satellites' high speeds and their distance from Earth, time moves differently for them compared to someone on the ground. If engineers did not take the relativistic effects into account, the positioning data would quickly become inaccurate by several kilometers each day. This unexpected consequence of walking in a world governed by relativity highlights how deeply intertwined our existence is with these fundamental physical principles. The relativity of simultaneity invites us to rethink our traditional views on time and reality. It challenges us to confront situations such as those encountered in everyday life, where we interact with others and expect our experiences to align. Imagine situations where timing is crucial, like arriving at a concert just as the music begins. In such moments, the synchronized experience with others can feel universal, yet, from the perspective of various observers, those moments may not align as expected. Throughout history, philosophers have pondered the nature of time. Some have argued whether it is an illusion or a tangible element that exists separately from us. Einstein's relativity introduced an exciting shift, indicating that our understanding is shaped by our relative position in the universe. This causes us to reflect on questions like, is time merely a dimension of existence, or is it something more profound that we struggle to comprehend? As we look towards the cosmos and contemplate how time and simultaneity function on a grand scale, we start to realize that these principles apply not only to objects moving at great speeds, but also to our everyday lives. Every interaction and experience is colored by the rich interplay of time and space, emphasizing the uniqueness of our perception. In closing, the relativity of simultaneity offers a beautiful lens through which we can explore the interconnectedness of humanity and the universe. It challenges our understanding of time and encourages us to embrace the complexities that come with diverse perspectives. So the next time you witness an event, reflect on those around you and consider how they perceive time differently. This notion can give us a deeper empathy as we share this journey we call life, reminding us that while we may all inhabit the same moment, our experiences may ripple through time in distinct and varied ways. Imagine a universe so vast that it stretches far beyond what we can see, filled with mysteries and secrets waiting to be uncovered. One of the most thought-provoking concepts in this cosmic expanse is the Einstein-Rosen Bridge, commonly referred to as a wormhole. This fascinating idea opens the door to incredible possibilities, connecting distant points in space-time in ways that challenge our understanding of reality. The concept of a wormhole originates from the realm of theoretical physics, deeply rooted in the work of two brilliant minds, Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen. Their groundbreaking paper in 1935 introduced the notion of a bridge linking two separate points in the fabric of space-time. Imagine the universe as a two-dimensional sheet of paper. If you fold the paper so 2 points touch, you have created a shortcut through which matter or information can theoretically travel. This shortcut, rather than following the conventional path across the surface, allows for instantaneous movement from one point to another, potentially across vast distances. To visualize a wormhole, think of it as a tunnel with two ends located at different points in space-time. If we could navigate through this tunnel, we could traverse the universe in a fraction of the time it normally takes. For instance, the distance from Earth to a star 40 light-years away could be covered in an instant if we had access to a wormhole that connected these two locations. This presents not only a mind-bending scientific concept, but also ignites the imagination when it comes to possibilities of interstellar travel and communication. While the idea of traversable wormholes makes for captivating stories in science fiction literature and movies, the scientific reality is more complicated. Theoretical physicists have constructed models of wormholes and explored their implications, but these concepts heavily rely on ideas such as exotic matter with negative energy density. This means we would require materials and energy states that are currently beyond our reach and comprehension to keep a wormhole stable and open. In other words, while they may be theoretically possible, there is a significant gap between concept and realization. Consider the implications of wormholes not just for physical travel, but also for the concepts of time and causality. One of the most intriguing aspects of wormholes is the potential for time travel. If one of the ends of a wormhole were to be accelerated to near-light speed and then returned to its original state, the time experience could differ greatly between the two ends. This opens a vast landscape of thoughts about how we perceive time and reality, blurring the lines between past and future. Furthermore, wormholes introduce fascinating puzzles about the nature of our universe. If such structures exist, they could provide answers to some of the universe's most elusive questions. For example, They might help explain phenomena such as dark matter or the vast emptiness of space that surrounds us. It could also illuminate our understanding of black holes, as some theories suggest that a black hole might connect to another part of the universe via a wormhole, forming a bridge between different regions of space. Despite the complexities and challenges presented by the notion of Einstein-Rosen bridges, scientists continue to explore this field, delving into the mathematics that governs our universe. Research in this area not only expands our understanding of fundamental physics, but also keeps the flame of curiosity alive for the next generation of scientists and enthusiasts. Today, we observe developments in quantum physics and string theory, both of which may shed light on how we can approach the idea of wormholes and their potential reality. As we ponder the existence of wormholes, think about the implications for humanity. Imagine a day when we can send probes through these cosmic tunnels, exploring galaxies far away in mere moments. Picture the connections we could foster with distant civilizations, sharing knowledge and culture in real time, rather than waiting for light to travel across the chasm of space. The wonder of the universe expands, forever tantalizing our minds with the thought of bridging distances that currently feel insurmountable. In literature and films, wormholes have inspired countless stories, fueling our desire to explore the unknown. Whether it's the iconic portrayal in Interstellar, where theories of relativity between space and time take center stage, or the whimsical adventures found in various science fiction novels, the idea of traversing wormholes captures our imagination. Writers and filmmakers envision a future where traversing these tunnels is as common as riding a train or boarding a plane. It reflects our innate curiosity and longing for exploration, connecting us with the vast universe in ways we can only dream of. As we look to the stars, the concept of the Einstein-Rosen Bridge reminds us that scientific inquiry and imagination go hand in hand. The mysterious landscapes of the universe invite us to ask questions, dream of adventures, and push the boundaries of our understanding. While we may not yet have discovered a way to create or travel through a wormhole, the exploration of this fascinating idea encourages us to think broadly, to innovate, and to never stop wondering about the extraordinary universe we inhabit. So, the next time you gaze up at the night sky, remember the hidden connections that might be out there, waiting for us to discover. The universe, in all its complexity, continues to challenge and inspire us, inviting our minds to explore the wonders beyond our own world. The journey of understanding is as significant as the destination itself. Whether wormholes exist or remain only a captivating theory, they embody the spirit of exploration, urging us to reach out beyond the familiar and embrace the mysteries that lie ahead. The many-worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics offers a fascinating lens through which to explore the fundamental nature of reality. Developed by physicist Hugh Everett III in 1957, this interpretation presents the idea that every time a quantum event occurs, the universe branches into multiple, diverging realities. This means that all possible outcomes of a quantum interaction exist simultaneously, each in its own separate universe. Instead of resolving issues through classical or probabilistic means, this perspective firmly establishes that every possible scenario unfolds, creating an infinite tapestry of existence. Imagine a simple scenario. You are flipping a coin. In a classical sense, the coin will land either heads or tails, and we might describe the outcome as uncertain until the coin actually lands. However, under the many-worlds interpretation, when the coin is flipped, the universe splits. One world sees the coin land on heads, while another sees it land on tails. Each outcome occurs in its own unique universe, and both realities exist independently and concurrently. This idea suggests a much richer, more complex universe than we typically perceive. This branching of realities can be extended to all sorts of decisions and actions we take. Picture embarking on a new journey, like moving to a different city or choosing a different career path. Each choice you make does not eliminate the other options, but rather gives birth to new realities. In one universe, you may thrive in your new job, forging new friendships and opportunities, while in another, you might take a different path, experiencing a whole other series of successes and perhaps failures. Each universe contains your different selves, exploring various facets of existence that result from different decisions. The many-worlds interpretation negates traditional paradoxes that often arise in discussions of quantum mechanics. Take Schrödinger's famous thought experiment involving a cat. In the classical version, the cat is both alive and dead until we observe it, leading to a paradox. But with the many-worlds view, the moment we open the box, the universe splits. In one universe, the cat is alive, while in another, the cat is dead. There is no contradiction or uncertainty. Both states are real in their respective realities. This cosmological framework offers a fresh understanding of time and causality. If every action creates a split, the timeline becomes less linear and more of a branching tree covered with myriad leaves, each representing a different outcome. You could imagine an infinite library where every volume details the unique stories of lives lived differently, shaped by countless decisions and events. Consider the concept of fate. Many believe that our lives follow a predetermined path, but in the realm of many worlds, fate is not singular. Instead, it becomes a web of choices. Each decision creates a new thread in the fabric of existence, leading to multiple potential destinies. A person may consider their life as a series of missed opportunities, but under this interpretation, every choice made has led to the flourishing of countless lives across different realities. The philosophical implications of this interpretation stretch beyond a simple understanding of quantum mechanics. It invites us to ponder our own realities and the impact of our choices. If every possibility exists, how does that shape our understanding of existence and morality? Are our decisions less significant if there is a universe where we made a different choice? Overall, it raises profound questions about identity and being. Many physicists appreciate the elegance of many worlds as it simplifies the mathematics of quantum theory, allowing for a clearer understanding without the complications of wave function collapse. The idea offers a fresh perspective on the intricate dance of particles that make up our universe. Instead of focusing on uncertain outcomes, it allows for a view that embraces all possibilities, an infinity of existence laid before us. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of quantum mechanics, the many worlds interpretation endures as a compelling narrative, resonating with those drawn to the vastness of reality. It nudges us to think about our lives not as confined fates, marked by the choices we actively perceive, but as an expansive collection of experiences interwoven across countless timelines. The universe becomes a grand stage, continuously unfurling itself, filled with potential and infinite possibilities. In conclusion, the many worlds interpretation challenges our conventional understanding of existence. It posits that every action, every decision, leads not to a singular reality, but instead opens doors to a multitude of experiences coexisting across an infinite array of universes. This viewpoint not only enriches our grasp of quantum mechanics, but also encourages a deeper reflection on our place within this expansive cosmic structure, inviting us to embrace the complexities of our choices and the abundance of possibilities that life inherently holds. In this view, the universe is not a solitary entity bound to one outcome, but rather a magnificent tapestry of diverging paths, each one deserving of exploration and acknowledgement. Temporal displacement is a fascinating concept that leaps beyond the boundaries of our understanding of time and existence. Imagine a world where you can step out of your present surroundings and into a moment from the past or the future, experiencing the flow of time as something that is not fixed but rather flexible and dynamic. This idea of moving or being moved to a different time challenges our traditional perceptions and invites us to explore the intricacies of the universe. At its core, temporal displacement suggests that time is not a straightforward, linear experience, but rather a complex fabric of possibilities. The notion intrigues scientists, philosophers, and storytellers alike. A common example found in science fiction is the idea of a time machine, an object that allows travelers to navigate through the time continuum. Imagine a device that opens a portal to ancient civilizations, letting you witness monumental historical events like the building of the pyramids or the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This kind of adventure inspires curiosity and wonder about how our actions in one time might influence another. Concepts such as the space-time continuum, introduced by physicist Albert Einstein, add depth to the idea of temporal displacement. Einstein theorized that time and space are intertwined, forming a four-dimensional fabric that we navigate. It evokes imagery of cosmic highways where time travelers could potentially ride along, weaving in and out of epochs and eras. When we think about temporal displacement in this way, it opens up a sea of questions about the nature of reality. What if someone were to travel back to meet historical figures? How would that alter their destinies and, by extension, our present? The thought experiments surrounding temporal displacement often delve into paradoxes, such as the famous grandfather paradox. This paradox raises a thought-provoking question. What happens if a time traveler were to go back in time and prevent their own grandfather from meeting their grandmother? Would they still exist, or would that create a ripple effect, erasing their own future? Such scenarios challenge our understanding of causality and how closely our fates are tied to those who came before us. In literature and film, temporal displacement serves as a narrative device that allows characters to confront their past or peek into their futures, grappling with their choices. Consider the story of a protagonist who embarks on a journey to fix a mistake they regret. The emotional weight of such moments can resonate deeply with audiences, evoking empathy and reflection. The ability to see what could have been, or what might yet be, illustrates the profound impact of our decisions in the continuum of time. Temporal displacement also raises poignant questions about the nature of memory. If one could revisit a moment in their life, would it still hold the same significance? Memory is often a blend of emotion, experience, and perspective. Therefore, returning to a moment might not evoke the same feelings one originally experienced, revealing how we grow and change over time. This idea invites us to appreciate the transient nature of our lives, cherishing each moment, as we understand that each experience shapes us in profound ways. The exploration of temporal displacement is not confined to the realm of fantasy. Physicists investigate theories related to wormholes and time dilation, concepts rooted in real science that suggest potential avenues for time travel. The idea of a wormhole, for instance, can be likened to a tunnel connecting two distant points in space-time, presenting an enticing possibility of traveling great distances through time in a relatively short span. Moreover, the exploration of temporal dislocation has engendered speculation about alternate realities or parallel universes. Each time a decision is made or an event unfolds, it creates branching paths, suggesting that many versions of reality exist simultaneously. The idea that every choice leads down a different timeline is both exhilarating and daunting, reflecting our struggles with uncertainty in the present. Temporal displacement encourages us to think not just about where we are, but when we are, and how our perceptions of time shape our reality. It challenges us to consider how interconnected we are to history and the future, prompting us to question our paths and the legacies we leave behind. In conclusion, temporal displacement captivates the imagination, encouraging us to think deeply about time, existence, and the choices we make. It invites us to ponder the possibilities of experiencing time not just as a relentless forward march, but as a vast landscape filled with opportunities, lessons, and pathways yet to be explored. Embracing this concept allows us to reflect on our lives and the moments we value, ultimately enriching our understanding of what it means to be human in a universe where time may be more fluid than we ever believed. Time travel has always captivated the imagination, weaving intricate narratives that challenge our understanding of reality and consequences. One of the most compelling concepts within the realm of time travel is the grandfather paradox. This thought experiment presents a fascinating dilemma. If you were to travel back in time and prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, you would seemingly erase your own existence. This paradox has been explored in various films, literature, and television shows, shaping public perception and understanding of the complexities of time travel. A prominent example of the grandfather paradox in cinema is the classic film Back to the Future. In this beloved adventure, Marty McFly accidentally travels back to 1955, where he unexpectedly disrupts the timeline by interfering with his parents' first meeting. As Marty realizes that his actions may prevent his own birth, the film deftly balances humor and suspense, exploring the ramifications of altering the past. It embodies the essence of the grandfather paradox, making it accessible and entertaining. The movie introduces viewers to the idea that even small changes in the past can produce vastly different outcomes in the future. Another notable instance can be found in Terminator, where the intricate weaving of timelines and causality plays a crucial role. The story revolves around a cyborg sent back in time to assassinate Sarah Connor, the mother of the future savior of humankind. This is a different twist on the grandfather paradox, as it emphasizes the idea of preventing events that would lead to one's existence. The film asks viewers to ponder the implications of changing pivotal moments in history and the resulting feedback loops that can ensue, making for a gripping narrative that keeps audiences on the edge of their seats. Television series like Doctor Who have also tackled the grandfather paradox in unique ways. The show presents a time-traveling hero, the Doctor, who often interacts with historical figures and events. In episodes such as Blink, the complexities of time loops and predestination challenge the straightforward notion of cause and effect. The Doctor's adventures frequently illustrate the delicate balance of timelines, reminding viewers that actions in the past can ripple throughout the future, creating intricate storylines filled with intrigue and philosophical questions. In literature, one of the most notable explorations of the Grandfather Paradox is found in The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. While the novel does not explicitly address the paradox as it is understood today, it lays the groundwork for the exploration of time itself and the consequences of time travel. The idea of venturing into the past and changing pivotal moments echoes through the ages, setting the stage for later writers and filmmakers to elaborate on these themes. This narrative legacy highlights the impact of the Grandfather Paradox on our collective imagination. More recently, films like Predestination delve deep into the Grandfather Paradox, presenting a mind-bending narrative that invites viewers to navigate the complexities of identity and fate. The story follows a time-traveling agent tasked with preventing a future crime, leading to unforeseen consequences that challenge the very notion of a linear timeline. This film emphasizes the cyclical nature of time and the paradoxes that arise from tampering with it, leaving audiences to untangle a web of events that often leads back to the starting point. The Grandfather Paradox has also permeated popular video games, such as Life is Strange, which allows players to rewind time and make choices that affect the outcome of the story. The game explores the repercussions of altering past events, emphasizing emotional weight and moral dilemmas. Players are confronted with the idea that every decision has a ripple effect, shaping future events in unforeseen ways. This interactive approach immerses players in the narrative, providing a personal connection to the themes of causality tied to the Grandfather Paradox. As these examples illustrate, the portrayal of the Grandfather Paradox has evolved over time, reflecting changes in audience understanding of time travel. The consistent theme remains. The exploration of time travel encourages discussions about causality and existence. By weaving complex narratives that challenge our perceptions, these stories impact public knowledge and appreciation of the intricacies of time. Moreover, the cultural fascination with time travel has led to a broader engagement with philosophical inquiries concerning destiny, free will, and the effects of our actions. The Grandfather Paradox encapsulates these ideas, prompting questions that resonate beyond the realm of fiction. Audiences are reminded of the power of choice and the interconnectedness of events, ultimately shaping how society perceives time travel and the dilemmas it presents. In conclusion, the Grandfather Paradox serves as a powerful narrative tool that has been explored in a multitude of films, literature, and television series. Each portrayal adds depth to the understanding of time travel, enriching our appreciation of the interconnectedness of events and the complexities they introduce. Through entertaining narratives, audiences are encouraged to reflect on their own choices and the potential consequences woven into the fabric of time. As we journey through these captivating stories, we gain insights that extend beyond fiction, inviting us to ponder the nature of existence itself. In the fascinating realm of physics, there exists a concept known as the paradox of retroactive radiation. This intriguing idea intertwines elements of thermodynamics with the sometimes bewildering theories of time travel and causality. To understand this concept, we first need to grasp some basic principles of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is the branch of physics that deals with heat, energy, and the work that systems engage in. One of its core principles is the second law of thermodynamics, which states that in an isolated system, the total entropy, or the measure of disorder, tends to increase over time. This principle suggests a directionality to time, an arrow of time, moving from ordered states to disordered states. Now imagine if we could send information or energy backward in time, effectively reversing that arrow of time. This is where the paradox comes into play. If radiation were to be emitted prior to its cause, it would challenge our fundamental understanding of cause and effect. A simple analogy could help illustrate this. Think of someone throwing a ball. If the ball travels forward through time, we understand that the thrower, or cause, must come before the action of the ball moving through the air. However, if the ball could somehow come back in time from a future point, the dynamics of the situation abruptly shift. One is left wondering about the implications of such a scenario. Retroactive radiation, in this context, would imply that radiation generated in one moment could affect events in a past moment. It raises essential questions about causality. For instance, consider an atom that emits a photon, a basic unit of light. If that photon could travel backward in time, it might influence the state of the atom before it emitted the photon. This creates a loop of causality that defies our standard understanding of temporal order. Going deeper into this thought experiment, we can draw parallels to various time paradoxes we often encounter in science fiction stories. One such example is the well-known grandfather paradox, where someone travels back in time and inadvertently prevents their grandparents from meeting. This creates a scenario where the time traveler could never exist in the first place. Similarly, retroactive radiation could create events that seem self-contradictory, complicating our grasp of reality. In theoretical discussions, there are also implications of this phenomenon in the context of quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics often defies classical logic. For instance, particle states can exist in superposition, meaning they can be in several states at once until observed. Retroactive radiation could further challenge our comprehension. If particles can somehow interact with the past, it would mean our observations of their behavior could be influenced by actions that haven't yet occurred. The implications of retroactive radiation extend to the philosophical realm as well. What does it mean for our understanding of time if events can affect the past? This concept opens up intriguing possibilities about free will and determinism. If we are to consider that future events can influence past moments, do we have control over our actions? Are we merely puppets dancing to the strings of our future selves? Exploring the potential mechanisms for retroactive radiation, we encounter ideas like negative energy and hypothetical constructs such as wormholes. Wormholes, often depicted in theoretical physics, are connections between different points in spacetime. They could, in theory, provide a route for radiation to pass retroactively. The concept of negative energy would involve energy states that could theoretically allow for this reversal of temporal order. While this subject straddles the line between established science and speculative theory, it serves as a thought-provoking topic that encourages inquiry and contemplation. Scientists and philosophers alike find joy in pondering how the universe operates under principles that still elude comprehension. The paradox of retroactive radiation invites us to explore tantalizing questions about the nature of time, causality, and reality itself. To sum up, the idea of retroactive radiation embodies a fascinating intersection of thermodynamics, quantum mechanics, and philosophical inquiry. It urges us to rethink the linear pathway of time and challenges our conventional understanding of cause and effect. Though it may sound like pure science fiction, it is through these mind-bending theories that our exploration of the universe continues to unfold. Thus, the paradox not only enriches our understanding of physics, but also stirs the imagination, inviting us to ponder the infinite possibilities that exist within the fabric of time. Imagine a world where machines could run forever without any input of energy, a world where the concept of energy loss doesn't exist. This intriguing idea, known as perpetual motion, has fascinated inventors, scientists, and dreamers for centuries. The essence of perpetual motion is the idea of a machine that can operate indefinitely without an energy source, seemingly defying the laws of physics as we understand them. Perpetual motion can be split into two categories: perpetual motion of the first kind, which creates energy from nothing, and perpetual motion of the second kind, which spontaneously converts thermal energy into mechanical work. Neither has been achieved in practice, but the pursuit of these ideas has led to fascinating discussions about energy, time, and the very fabric of the universe. Think about a simple example of a water wheel. If you placed it in a flowing river, the energy from the water would turn the wheel continuously. In this case, you are using an external source, the flowing river, to keep the wheel moving. However, the idea of perpetual motion suggests that a machine could keep moving by itself without any external energy or friction slowing it down. This conception is alluring, yet fundamentally impossible, as it violates the first and second laws of thermodynamics. The first law states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, while the second law indicates that energy systems tend to disperse and that usable energy decreases over time. While creating a perpetual motion machine remains outside our reach, the concept prompts us to think about time itself. Time has a cyclical nature, seen in nature and the universe. Consider the seasons that repeat year after year. Spring gives way to summer, summer turns to autumn, autumn to winter, and the cycle begins anew. This cycling is akin to the persistent motion of a hypothetical machine, where the changes are subtle but ongoing. In the realm of astronomy, we observe celestial objects such as planets, stars, and galaxies in cycles as they orbit around one another. The Earth orbits the Sun in an elaborate dance that takes about 365 days to complete, while the Moon orbits the Earth every 27.3 days. These celestial motions are governed by gravity, yet they paint a picture of predictability and continuity reminiscent of the perpetual motion concept. The exploration of time as a cycle presents philosophical ideas too. In some cultures, time is not viewed as linear, progressing from past to present to future. Instead, it is seen as cyclical, a journey where events recur, mirroring the patterns we observe in the natural world. The ancient Mayans had a deep understanding of this cyclical nature, using it to create sophisticated calendars that reflected their observations of celestial cycles. The relationship between perpetual motion and time brings us to consider energy crises and our modern technological challenges. The quest for sustainable energy sources continues to grow as we grapple with the limitations of fossil fuels and the environmental consequences of their use. Concepts of efficiency and sustainability align with the wishes for a perpetual machine, leading to advancements in technology that may not equate to perpetual motion, but aim for relentless optimization. Think of wind turbines that harness wind energy, generating electricity in a way that seems almost continuous. While they do not create energy from nothing, they capture and convert energy from a natural source, offering a glimpse into a more sustainable future. The inexhaustible power of the wind can be likened to the enduring rhythm of time. Moreover, the exploration of time itself has practical implications in physics. The theory of relativity, proposed by Albert Einstein, revolutionized our understanding of time, suggesting that time is not a constant. Instead, it can be stretched and compressed depending on the observer's speed and gravitational field. This revelation unravels the complexities of time and motion, raising questions about our perceptions and experiences. In our daily lives, moments can feel fleeting or eternal, depending on context. You may find yourself in a joyful experience, where time seems to fly, or in a tedious situation, where every second feels drawn out. Our subjective experience of time reflects its fluidity, contrasting with the mechanical idea of a machine that runs indefinitely. Though perpetual motion may not exist in the physical realm, the contemplation of its possibilities keeps our imagination alive. It pushes us to ponder bigger questions about energy, cycles, and continuity. This artistic dance between science and philosophy keeps us captivated. Consider how the world operates in cycles: the rise and fall of civilizations, the ebb and flow of economic trends, and even human emotions that go through seasons. This cyclical view wraps the narrative of humanity with the passage of time, creating parallels that resonate across cultures and generations. The journey of understanding perpetual motion and its relationship to time invites us to envision a future where efficiency reigns, and we learn from nature's unerring cycles. While the dream of a machine running forever may remain just that, a dream, it inspires innovation and thoughtful consideration of how we might align our actions with the natural world. In this dance between concepts of time and the elusive perpetual motion, we find ourselves reflecting on our existence. We are part of a rhythm that connects the past, presents, and futures, much like the theoretical machinery that never stops turning. Exploring these ideas lets us appreciate the intricacies of life, time, and the universe we inhabit, perhaps leading us to deeper understandings of the mysteries which still remain. In the vastness of the cosmos, where the stars breathe life into the night sky, there exists a tiny yet remarkable spacecraft, Voyager 2. Launched on August 20, 1977, by NASA, its journey is a testament to human curiosity and a bold endeavor into the great unknown. While this remarkable probe was initially designed to study the outer planets of our solar system, it has evolved into something much larger, a messenger from Earth, carrying our hopes and dreams to the stars. Voyager 2 is a part of the Voyager program, which also includes its twin, Voyager 1. Unlike its sibling, Voyager 2 took a unique trajectory that allowed it to visit 4 planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, collecting invaluable data that reshaped our understanding of these distant worlds. As it sailed through the outer reaches of the solar system, it provided us with stunning photographs and vital information about the atmosphere, magnetic fields, and rings of these planets, revealing a dynamic and diverse solar system beyond what we had ever imagined. Each encounter was an awe-inspiring event. At Jupiter, Voyager 2 revealed a world with immense storms, the most famous being the Great Red Spot, a swirling tempest larger than Earth itself. When it reached Saturn, the spacecraft transmitted breathtaking images of its iconic rings, showing intricate structures that captivated scientists and ordinary people alike. The probe's visit to Uranus and Neptune marked a turning point in our understanding of ice giants. Voyager 2 uncovered surprising features, like the tilted rotational axis of Uranus and the mysterious dark storm systems of Neptune, forever altering our perception of these distant worlds. As Voyager 2 continued its journey, it became something beyond a scientific instrument. It transformed into a symbol of human achievement and ingenuity. To think that a machine built with the knowledge and skills of countless individuals could travel so far, over 12 billion miles from our planet, sparks a profound reflection on the nature of time and the human legacy we leave behind. The notion of time is both elusive and fascinating. It stretches endlessly, weaving together past, present, and future. Voyager 2's journey challenges our understanding of these concepts, reminding us that, while we may be small in the grand scheme of the universe, our creations have the power to traverse great distances. In 1977, when Voyager 2 was launched, the world was a different place. People lived in a time when technology was just beginning to blossom. The digital age was still in its infancy, and the achievements of space exploration felt like endpoints rather than the beginning of a grand narrative. Now, as Voyager 2 hurtles through interstellar space, it embodies the aspirations and dreams of an entire generation and the ones that followed. It carries with it a golden record, a time capsule designed to answer the eternal question, what does it mean to be human? This record includes sounds from Earth, music, human voices, and natural phenomena, an attempt to share our story with any potential life forms that might come across it in the future. It is fascinating to imagine someone, or something, finding this record eons from now and listening to the echoes of our existence. Questions arise. Will they understand the emotions captured in the music of Beethoven or the laughter of children? What will they think about the images of our planet, showing both its beauty and fragility? Voyager 2 serves as a bridge across time, connecting our present with the mysteries of the unknown future. The distance that Voyager 2 has traveled also allows us to ponder our existence in a universe that is so vast and ancient. With each passing moment, the stars continue to evolve, and galaxies collide, giving perspective to our place in the cosmic tapestry. Voyager 2's trajectory into the depths of space prompts reflections on humanity's quest for knowledge. The thirst for discovery drives us to explore beyond our confines, whether in a laboratory or among the stars. Every photograph sent back, every data point collected, illuminates not only our understanding of celestial bodies but also deepens our appreciation for our own planet and its delicate ecosystems. The probe's journey also emphasizes the importance of collaboration. Engineers, scientists, and artists united their skills to create something extraordinary. The collective effort showcases what can be achieved when individuals collaborate with a shared vision. It's a reminder that our legacy is not just about individual achievements, but how we come together to push the boundaries of what is possible. Voyager 2 continues its journey through interstellar space, well beyond the influence of our sun. It is operating far from home, sending signals that take over 18 hours to reach Earth. This distant echo from our past serves as a reminder of our aspirations and the relentless pursuit of knowledge in the face of the unknown. The probe carries on, a silent herald of human spirit and curiosity as it gracefully drifts through the cosmos. In contemplating Voyager 2, we are encouraged to embrace our questions about the universe, time, and our legacy, weaving a narrative that stretches across both space and time, highlighting the inherent beauty of exploration that defines us as a species. Each discovery sparks new questions, inviting future generations to look up at the night sky and wonder. Voyager 2 is not just a probe, it is a chapter in a story that transcends boundaries, a journey that continues to inspire curiosity and creativity in generations to come. The von Neumann-Wigner interpretation is a fascinating concept that emerges from the realm of quantum mechanics. It revolves around the intriguing idea that consciousness may play a critical role in determining the outcomes of quantum events. To delve into this, one must first grasp some of the basic principles of quantum mechanics itself, which deals with the behavior of matter and energy at the smallest scales, including particles like electrons and photons. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in a state of probability until they are observed or measured. This means that until a measurement is made, a particle can be thought of as being in multiple possible states simultaneously, a phenomenon known as superposition. The classic example is Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment where a cat inside a box is considered to be both alive and dead until someone opens the box and observes the cat. It raises profound questions about the nature of reality and the role of observation. What the von Neumann-Wigner interpretation introduces is the idea that it is not merely the act of measurement that causes a quantum system to choose a definite state, but rather the involvement of an observer's consciousness. This perspective suggests that our awareness may actually influence the physical world at a quantum level. Imagine standing at a crossroads, where every path leads to different futures. The very act of choosing a path brings that future into existence, while the other possible futures remain unrealized, floating in the realm of probabilities. This interpretation invites us to consider the implications of consciousness itself. If consciousness impacts quantum outcomes, what does that suggest about our interaction with the universe? Our thoughts, feelings, and awareness may be woven into the fabric of reality, intricately linked with the fundamental workings of the world. This brings forth an exciting avenue of inquiry into the connection between mind and matter, encouraging us to explore how our inner experiences shape the outer world. The relationship between consciousness and quantum mechanics is further illustrated by the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. When two particles become entangled, the state of one particle is instantly connected to the state of another, no matter how far apart they may be. This peculiar linkage challenges our traditional understanding of time and space. If we consider that consciousness may influence these entangled states, it prompts us to reflect on how interconnected we truly are. Our thoughts and intentions could potentially ripple through the quantum fabric of existence, creating outcomes that align with our awareness. Moreover, the implications of this interpretation extend to our perception of time. In our everyday experience, we perceive time as a linear progression, with moments unfolding one after another. However, quantum mechanics introduces the idea that time may not be as straightforward as it seems. The interplay between consciousness and quantum events could suggest a more fluid conception of time, where our present awareness affects the unfolding of future potentials. Could it be that our conscious choices not only influence immediate outcomes, but also shape the very nature of time itself? As we explore these ideas further, we encounter the notion of potentiality versus actuality. In the quantum world, possibilities exist in a delicate balance until they are set into motion by an observer's intention. Our consciousness can be viewed as a guiding force, selecting from a multitude of potential realities. This perspective invites us to consider how our mindset and beliefs might influence our experiences. For instance, if you approach a situation with a positive attitude, you might find that more favorable outcomes manifest. Conversely, a fearful mindset could draw forth challenges that reinforce that fear. This interplay between consciousness and quantum mechanics opens up a multitude of philosophical questions. What does it mean to be an observer? How do our thoughts and feelings shape the reality we experience? And if consciousness indeed has the power to influence quantum events, what responsibilities might we hold for our own beliefs and intentions? The possibilities are as vast as the universe itself, encouraging us to examine how we engage with the world around us. Interestingly, scientists and theorists continue to explore these realms, diving deeper into the implications of the von Neumann-Wigner interpretation. While it remains a topic of debate among physicists, it has sparked discussions that bridge science with philosophy, psychology, and spirituality. Many have begun to consider how our understanding of consciousness can illuminate the complexities of quantum mechanics, and vice versa. As we navigate through these ideas, we are reminded of the power of perspective. Our individual experiences and thoughts create a unique lens through which we interact with the world. By embracing the notion that consciousness may affect quantum outcomes, we empower ourselves to recognize the impact of our awareness. This understanding encourages a sense of connection to the universe and each other, emphasizing the significance of our choices and intentions. In conclusion, the von Neumann-Wigner interpretation invites us on an exploration of the relationship between consciousness and quantum mechanics. It challenges us to consider not only the nature of reality, but also the profound role we play within it. As we ponder the interconnectedness of mind and matter, we find ourselves on a journey of discovery, opening our hearts and minds to the boundless possibilities of existence. In grappling with these ideas, we reflect on our own agency and the ways in which our consciousness shapes the realities we experience each day. Have you ever wondered if the world we live in is real? Simulated reality theory suggests an intriguing possibility, that our lives may be unfolding within a sophisticated simulation, much like the digital landscapes we see in movies and video games. This idea, while seemingly far-fetched at first, invites us to explore not only the nature of existence, but also the limits of our understanding of reality itself. Think about how technology has evolved over the years. From simple pixelated games to hyper-realistic virtual reality experiences, we have created digital worlds that are increasingly immersive. With advancements in artificial intelligence and computer graphics, these environments can replicate the intricacies of the real world so closely that distinguishing between the two begins to blur. Simulated reality theory posits that if we can create such simulations, then it is possible that a more advanced civilization might have done so as well. Imagine a world where every experience, every sensation, is crafted by lines of code. This leads us to ask questions about our consciousness. Are our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions simply the output of a highly sophisticated algorithm? Some advocates of this theory argue that consciousness itself could be a product of simulation. Just as a program can mimic human behavior, is it possible that our own actions and reactions are scripted within a grand design? Philosopher Nick Bostrom has articulated a compelling argument around this concept, proposing that if it is possible to create a simulation indistinguishable from reality, then at some point in the future, advanced civilizations might produce a plethora of simulations. If so, it's statistically likely that we could be living in one of those simulations, rather than the original or base reality. By his reasoning, if civilizations can create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, and if they choose to do so, then the number of individuals living within simulations could vastly outnumber those in the original reality. This hypothesis also echoes themes we find in popular culture. Movies like The Matrix and Inception exploit the idea of simulated worlds and manipulation of time and space. In The Matrix, characters navigate a world that is an illusion, prompting profound questions about freedom, control, and the nature of truth. Similarly, Inception plays with the concept of dreams within dreams, leaving viewers pondering the boundaries between reality and imagination. These narratives resonate because they tap into a fundamental curiosity about our existence and the fabric of the world around us. Exploring the implications of simulated reality theory also invites discussions about perception. We often rely on our senses to determine what is real. However, if those senses were to be programmed, how would that redefine our understanding of experiences? Think of sensory experiences like taste or touch. Would our memories of enjoying a delicious meal or feeling the warmth of the sun remain genuine if they were fabricated within a simulation? Philosophically, this leads to deep questions about identity and authenticity. Are you the individual you perceive yourself to be, or are you a character in someone else's narrative? The theory challenges our conception of free will. If our choices are predetermined by code or algorithms, can we truly say we are making independent decisions? Moreover, the examination of simulated reality dovetails with our increasing reliance on technology. As virtual and augmented reality become more integrated into our daily lives, we find ourselves raising questions about our interaction with the digital world. Social media platforms present carefully curated representations of life, almost akin to a simulation of reality, where certain aspects are enhanced or minimized. In some ways, our online personas have become simulations of ourselves, blurring the lines between who we are and how we present ourselves. The exploration of time manipulation within simulations adds another layer of intrigue. Consider how time operates differently in various scenarios, such as in video games where players can control pacing, or in films that depict alternate timelines. If time can be modified in a simulated environment, it raises questions about the nature of time in our own reality. Are there moments when time feels like it is standing still or speeding up? Are these perceptions influenced by the environment we are in, as though our experience of time is manipulated by external forces, whether real or simulated? In connecting simulated reality theory to broader scientific inquiry, we find intersections with quantum physics and cosmology. The study of the universe reveals behaviors and phenomena that often defy conventional logic. The idea that particles can exist in multiple states until observed, known as superposition, hints at a layered reality that can resemble a simulation-like structure. Additionally, the multiverse theory puts forth the possibility of parallel realities coexisting, much like different iterations of a simulation engaged in their own unique narratives. As we venture deeper into this profound inquiry about existence, reality, and consciousness, we find ourselves at the crossroads of science, philosophy, and imagination. Whether the theory holds merit or remains speculative, it challenges us to consider what it means to be alive, to experience, and to perceive our surroundings, fueling an unquenchable curiosity about the nature of our experience and the world we inhabit. So, as you ponder these concepts, allow your mind to roam freely. Consider the possibilities, the philosophical implications, and the imaginative representations found in our culture. Perhaps in this exploration, you may discover a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you, revealing layers of meaning to what it truly means to exist in this vast tapestry of reality. Temporal paradoxes have long fascinated both scientists and storytellers, leading to a rich landscape of speculation in popular culture. As we navigate through films, television shows, books, and video games, we encounter various interpretations of time travel and its accompanying paradoxes, each contributing to our understanding of the complex nature of time. From the classic to the contemporary, let's explore how popular culture illustrates these mind-bending concepts while captivating audiences around the world. One of the most iconic examples of a temporal paradox is found in the classic film Back to the Future. In this beloved trilogy, Marty McFly travels back in time to 1955, where his actions inadvertently prevent his parents from meeting. This creates a ripple effect that threatens his very existence. The conundrum here is quite simple, yet profound. If Marty ceases to exist, how can he return to the future? This narrative produces compelling tension, as audiences eagerly anticipate the resolution of the paradox. The film cleverly resolves this by emphasizing the power of personal choices and the interconnectedness of lives across time. Similarly, the science fiction drama Doctor Who has delved deep into time travel paradoxes. The Doctor, a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey, explores time through a TARDIS that is larger on the inside. The complexities of time travel in this series often lead to paradoxical situations. One notable instance is the Weeping Angels, creatures that send their victims back in time. If a person is sent back and lives out their life in the past, how can they ever return to the present? The show's innovative storytelling often embraces these contradictions, prompting viewers to ponder the nature of time and the consequences of altering the past. In literature, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells explores time travel through the eyes of a Victorian scientist who invents a device that transports him to the distant future. In his journey, he witnesses the evolution of humanity and the division between the Eloi and Morlocks. The paradox emerges as the protagonist reflects on the implications of his journey through time. Can changes made in the past shape the future? And if so, what responsibility does he bear for the outcome? Wells's work remains a foundational piece in the discourse surrounding time travel, influencing countless adaptations and interpretations across various media. Television shows like Fringe elevate the exploration of temporal paradoxes further by weaving intricate narratives filled with alternate timelines and characters meeting their past selves. The character of Walter Bishop, a brilliant yet flawed scientist, often finds himself examining the implications of his actions across parallel universes. This genre blurs the lines between science fiction and philosophical inquiry, as characters face the perpetual question of causality. If you change a single event in your past, does it create an entirely new future? These narratives challenge our perceptions and make viewers reflect on their own lives and choices. Video games have also harnessed the power of temporal paradoxes. Braid, an indie platform game, features a protagonist who seeks to rescue a princess only to discover that his actions can distort time itself. As players navigate through levels, they manipulate time, rewinding and fast-forwarding to achieve their goals. The merging of gameplay with narrative creates a unique experience that immerses players in the consequences of their choices, prompting them to consider how time affects their journey. The game invites players to ponder the deeper meanings of regret and the quest for redemption. In the animated television series Rick and Morty, the concept of temporal paradoxes is often taken to absurd extremes. The show's titular characters, Rick Sanchez and his grandson Morty, embark on outlandish adventures that regularly involve alternate realities and time loops. The humor comes from how they exploit these paradoxes for entertainment, often with little regard for the long-term consequences. Yet, underneath the humor lies a darker reflection on the implications of endless possibilities. If every choice spawns alternate timelines, what significance do our decisions truly hold? Another significant entry in this discussion is Predestination, a film that intricately ties multiple paradoxes within its narrative structure. The story follows a time-traveling agent tasked with thwarting a terrorist. As the narrative unfolds, viewers are taken on a mind-bending journey that challenges their perceptions of identity, causation, and fate. The film expertly utilizes the Bootstrap Paradox, where an object or information exists without ever being created, igniting discussions about free will and determinism. Temporal paradoxes not only provide entertainment, but also inspire reflections on deeper existential themes. By examining how different narratives portray these concepts, we can appreciate the creativity of writers and filmmakers in grappling with such intricate ideas. They encourage us to think about the nature of time, our choices, and the impact of our actions in ways that are accessible and enjoyable. Overall, popular culture serves as a fascinating lens through which we can explore timeless questions surrounding time travel and its paradoxes. Whether through comedy, drama, or speculative fiction, these stories captivate our imaginations, inviting us to engage with the complexities of time. From the whimsical to the thought-provoking, the interpretations of temporal paradoxes in popular culture invite not only thrilling entertainment, but also a deeper understanding of our own journeys through time, encouraging each of us to reflect on the intricate weave of life experiences. Time travel has long captivated the imagination, often leading us down a rabbit hole of paradoxes and theoretical conundrums. Among these intriguing puzzles is the well-known grandfather paradox. This paradox imagines a scenario in which a time traveler goes back in time and accidentally prevents their grandfather from meeting their grandmother. If that happens, the time traveler would never be born, raising a fundamental question: how could they have traveled back in time in the first place? This paradox highlights the complexities and potential contradictions inherent in the idea of time travel. Scholars and physicists alike have proposed various theories in attempts to resolve the grandfather paradox and make sense of time travel. One of the more popular solutions is known as the many worlds interpretation. According to this theory, every action creates a new, branching timeline in which different outcomes unfold. If our time traveler were to go back and inadvertently prevent their grandfather from meeting their grandmother, they wouldn't vanish from existence. Instead, they would exist in a new timeline, one where they were never born, while their original timeline remains unchanged. This branching of realities offers a fascinating glimpse into the possibilities of alternate histories and realities coexisting simultaneously. Another interesting perspective is the, quote, self-consistency principle, brought forth by physicist Igor Dmitrievich Novikov. This theory proposes that any actions taken by a time traveler would have to be consistent with the timeline they originate from. In other words, if an individual travels back to 1960 to prevent their grandparents from meeting, some other event would occur that ensures they still exist. Maybe, through a twist of fate, they would accidentally become a catalyst for their grandparents' meeting, preventing the paradox altogether. There exists also the theory of closed time-like curves, which suggests that time could be cyclical rather than linear. This concept emerges from certain solutions in Einstein's general relativity, where gravity and space-time interact in ways that allow for loops in time. If time is not a straight line, but rather a series of loops, it might mean that past actions are fixed and unchangeable. The time traveler could encounter their past self, but any interaction would merely reinforce the timeline rather than create contradictions. Additionally, the idea of a, quote, timeline protector has surfaced in fictional narratives and theoretical physics. This concept posits an existence of natural laws or cosmic forces that prevent paradoxes from happening. So if someone tried to change a significant event in the past, unforeseen events would lead them back to the original outcome, thus ensuring that the timeline remains stable. Let's think about a metaphor using an artist and their canvas. Imagine the artist begins painting a landscape. Halfway through the painting, they decide they want to change a tree into a mountain. Instead of simply altering the tree, the artist instinctively knows that they cannot remove one element without affecting the entire composition. Their brushstrokes will lead this artistic endeavor in a new direction that, while different, still retains the essence of the original vision. This shows how interventions in time might lead to unforeseen yet harmonious outcomes rather than contradictions. Another theoretical exploration arises from quantum physics. Quantum mechanics suggests that particles can exist in multiple states at the same time. This phenomenon gives rise to the thought that time itself may not be as solid as we perceive it. In quantum terms, it's possible for an action in the present to create ripples that affect the past, generating a reality where multiple outcomes exist simultaneously. Perhaps each decision creates alternate pathways, turning the timeline into a rich tapestry of possibilities. Moreover, the notion of time as a dimension beyond human perception is quite fascinating. Just as we can move through three physical dimensions, length, width, and height, some theorists propose that time may be experienced differently. If we consider time as another dimension that can be navigated, perhaps the act of traveling through it carries its own set of rules, separate from our understanding of cause and effect. This leads to intriguing possibilities for interactions across different moments. While all these theories surrounding time travel and the grandfather paradox intrigue the mind, they also invite a broader reflection on the nature of reality and existence. What does it mean to exist in a timeline? How do choices and experiences weave together to form our narratives? These questions, while steeped in imagination and theoretical constructs, encourage us to think critically about our understanding of time, future endeavors, and the consequences of our actions. In conclusion, theories addressing time travel and the grandfather paradox reflect our desire to comprehend complexities in the cosmos. From the many worlds interpretation to self-consistency principles, the fabric of time may be more intricate than it appears. Every exploration into this subject reveals not just the mechanics of potential travel through time, but also the deep-seated philosophical questions surrounding existence, choices, and the very nature of reality itself. Time travel may remain a future possibility, but the fascination it ignites in our minds continues to prompt discussions that bridge science, imagination, and the essence of what it means to be alive.